Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. I hope that this is in India as per Indian Standard Time. Uh, I'm not getting your voice, sir. Actually, okay. Just hold on first. Yeah, now, sir, you can unmute yourself because I have made you a co-host. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
It is 1 p.m. here,
sir. Okay, okay, okay.
so it's
So,
not much of a difference.
okay, sir. So, sir,
So
we are yes, so we are waiting for two other members to join, and we have asked them to join, and they are saying that they will be joining in just a second. So,
okay,
yeah, yeah.
they are from Prestige or from outside?
No, no, sir, they are from outside. So, the different panel members. So, along with you, we have co-session chair and session keynote speaker. So, you are
Okay.
the session chair of the session, and one madam is there, Aruna Dhamija, Dr. Aruna Dhamija. So, she is co-session
Hmm.
chair, and the second one is Dr. V.K. Pandey. He is a keynote speaker of the session.
Dr. Pandey.
Yeah, V.K. Pandey.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can wait, sir, for 2 minutes if you allow us. Or
Yeah,
shall we
yeah.
start? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Welcome.
I request all the judges to please switch on your video. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. So we'll start the session. Good afternoon to one and all present here. We are about to begin the technical session. I, Shefali Chauhan, on behalf of Prestige Institute of Management Gwalior, feel privileged to welcome our panel member, participants, students, media member, and the volunteer present here for the technical session of General Management in 12th International Conference 2020. As well said by William R., the aim of education is the knowledge, not the fact, but the values. With this line, it's an honor to introduce our session chair, Professor Naseem Abidi. Sir is a professor and head in Skyline University, UAE. He has completed his PhD degree in future study and planning from University in India. Professor Naseem has around 30 years of work experience in business school and government as a teacher, a researcher, and software professional. He has teaching and research experience at leading business school and universities in India, UK, and UAE. Sir has rich experience of academic administration and institutional building in various capacities. He has an excellent academic record with university ranking. Sir has published various research papers in reputed international journals and guided scholars for doctoral research work. His teaching and research interest area include sustainability, sustainable supply chain management, service operation management, research methodology, economics efficiency, and management science. With this, I welcome Sir for the technical session of 12th International Conference 2020. Welcome, Sir.
Thank you, Shefali.
Now, I would like to introduce our co-session chair, Dr. Aruna Dhamijaji. Ma'am is a professor and associate head UG Department of Management Institute of Business Management GLA University Mathura. She has enriching experience of close to 2 decades. Dr. Aruna incorporates the various concepts related to management along with human sociology to the best. Her area of interest include human resources management, organizational behavior, and marketing. She has published a good number of international national research papers indexed in such prestigious databases such as Scopus, ABDC, ESCI, etc., and has conducted workshop training sessions on various facts of HR and marketing, as well as how to carry out quality research and published in reputed journals. She has attended and conducted in workshop short-term courses at some of the most prominent institutes at national and international level too. She was selected a one-week short-term courses Asia Pacific leadership program on environment for sustainable development. And also she was nominated as a one-week short-term course in Central European University, Hungary, titled The Precautionary Principle in Sustainability Transaction, Thinking Forward, Looking Backward, Acting. She is known as her mentoring ability and counseling with an excellent powerful among students for her pragmatic approach towards facilitating the learning process. With this, I welcome ma'am for the technical session of 12th International Conference 2020. Welcome, ma'am. As well said by Philip Colleen, in learning you will teach and in teaching you will learn. With this line, I would like to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Vijay Kumar Pandey. Sir has 20 years of work experience in Indian Air Force and 15 years of experience in academics. By qualification, he is UGC NET in Management, PhD in Management, MPhil in Management, and MBA in Marketing. Currently, he is working as a professor in School of Management, Graphic Era Hill University, Dehradun, India. As an academician, he has worked abroad as well as in the country of various institutes. At the research front, he has published one book, 4 edited books, 8 cases in Europe Case Cleaning House, London, and 34 research papers in various journals and edited book. He has presented 29 research papers in international and national conference include IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Indore, and IIM Lucknow, and so on. He also won 2 Best Research Paper Award. He has participated in the doctoral completion of international conference organized jointly by IIM Ahmedabad and AIMS, and he stood the 4th position in that. His research paper was accepted for presentation in the international conference organized by American Marketing Association in the year 2012. He has coordinated 1 international research conference, 2 international national conference, 2 national case writing competition, 1 national management development program. He has received 2 lakh funding to organize the international conference at IMS Ghaziabad in the year 2013. He has represented the different institute to coordinate with international conference like Eurocase Cleaning House London, United Nations PRME, and International Organization for Accreditation USA. With this, I welcome Sir for the technical session for 12th International Conference 2020. Welcome.
Thanks, Shefali.
Now it's time to begin our session. So I request Dr. Abhay Singh Chauhan to start the session.
Yeah, so good afternoon to everyone, all the participants, judges, panel members, Dr. Naseem Abidi sir, Aruna Dhamija madam, and Vijay Kumar Pandey sir. So very good afternoon to everyone. And now I would like to request to all the participants to kindly be ready with your presentation, and we'll start our presentation one by one. And the sequence of presentation has already been forwarded to all the panel members. I hope that you have that sequence. So we'll start the presentation as sequence wise. And the rules of the presentation will be that the time limit for presentation will be 5 minutes. Is it okay, sir? Should we stick the time limit for 5 minutes, or we can increase more than the 5 minutes also, if you allow? Judges?
From my side, Mr. Abhay, Dr. Abhay, right?
Yeah.
From my side, no problem.
Okay. So, Naseem sir, if 5 minutes is okay?
Yeah, 5 minutes is okay. More focusing on the methodology and the analysis and conclusion part of it.
Okay. Right. So all the panel members all the participants are requested that kindly focus yourself on that particularly 3 areas which Naseem sir has suggested, and be ready with your presentation. Now I would like to call our first participant. The paper is GM003, and the title of the paper is Grocery Stores versus Online Stores in Emerging Digital Economy, Who Survives? And the authors are Chandra Prakash Gupta, Mr. Rahul Sharma, and Jitendra Dubey. So anyone can present the paper. So participants, kindly wait for 2 seconds. I am making you a co-host so that you can able to present and unmute yourself. Yeah, Chandra Prakash Gupta sir and Jitendra Dubey sir, you are already been made co-host, so you can unmute yourself.
So good afternoon to all present here. So firstly, I would like to thanks to the organizing committee who has organized this international conference. So we have found an opportunity to present our paper in this conference. So firstly, I would like to thanks to all organizing committee. So I'm going to start my presentation. That topic is already known to all of us. That is grocery stores versus online stores in the emerging digital economy. Who survives in this? So the screen is visible to all, sir?
Yes. Please go ahead.
So firstly, I would like to discuss something about the keywords which I have used in my paper. That is, I've used the COVID-19 effect also in my papers, business sectors, the grocery stores, online players who are coming into the business of the retail sectors, the competition which is also increasing due to this. Now I'm coming to the next point of my study, that was the variables of the study, that the direct marketing on the digital platform, which has been already studied by the Verity and the Hoff and other authors also. The online buying, offline stores, that is already, I'm trying to focus my study on the Kirana stores, which are real working in the local markets. So I'm now coming to the point, that is the research gap fulfilled by the study. In this, researcher has tried to explore the challenges being faced by the offline players, sorry, in, due to the increase in the competition by the online players, especially during the pre and post COVID-19 era. Now, if I talk about the hypothesis and the objectives of the study, based on the literature review, I have tried to formulate some hypothesis, and in that I tried to formulate this hypothesis: the online sales of the grocery product has no impact on the sale of the offline grocery, that is the Kirana stores. So if it is to be accepted, then if it is not acceptable, then in that case, the alternative hypothesis which I have formulated, that is the online store of the grocery product has an impact on the sale of offline grocery stores. Now, the objective of my study was that to find out the impact of the emergence of online grocery market on the offline grocery stores. If I talk about the research methodology which I have used in this paper, that is the nature of study was the descriptive research which I have used in this. The sample design or sampling method which I have used for the data collection, that is the stratified sampling method which I was using in this particular study. The sample size which I have used, and that is the 50 offline stores were used for the data collection in this study. Tools for the data collection that was used in this study, that was the questionnaire and the personal interview. And when I was conducting this particular paper study, so I was using the questionnaire before the COVID-19 period, when I was making a research on this particular topic, when I was focusing basically on the players who are working in the offline and the online retail stores. So in that case, I was using the questionnaire method for the data collection. Thereafter, when this pandemic started, so I used this personal interview method for knowing the effect of the COVID-19 effect on the online and offline stores. The tools for data analysis which I have used after the collection of the data, that is the chi-square test, I have used for the purpose of the analysis. Now, if I come to the results of the study and the basic areas of the discussion, surprisingly, I found that the grocery stores owners who survived the organized retail sectors, in case of when they were fighting against the organized sectors of the retail sector, they were finding very much easy in handling the competition, but surprisingly, they were having some kind of difficulty when they are facing the challenges with the online competition is coming into the market. So it was found that the small grocery shop owners are the one who are losing sales due to the after the digital shops, but the impact is not on the higher side on the grocery shops which were big in size. So they are having a large assortment of the products and their variety of the products they are providing. Easy availability of the finance, more family members participating in the management of the stores, selling grocery items on the credit, providing home delivery in the different areas was few of the reasons because of which the grocery shop, Kirana shop are big in size. Having a large assortment of products, variety of the products were being provided by them. So they are maintaining their sales, were able to handle the digital competition to a large scale. So these were the some results. So, and one of the results also was there that the eatables and the pulses are available at the less price in the digital stores in comparison to the physical stores. Reason being that the elimination of the distribution channel is almost saving the middleman cost. So they are able to find out they are able to cut down the cost, so that they are providing it at the lesser cost in that. few of the survey, small grocery shop, in the surveys, I found that some of the small grocery shop owners have stopped selling the pulses as their self is as their shelf life is hardly 2 to 3 months, and because of the drop in the rate of expiry period, not only the consumer is always having an interest that the latest month of the manufacturing they are always ready to buy. So few of the stores reported a drop in the sale of about 40% of the sales, so that they have decided to look for the alternate product to sell. So they are always trying to make us some kind of alternate option. So they're not finding very easy for them that as the online marketing is, online stores are increasing their sales day by day. A survey in the survey I found that the store surveyed at the Belanganj area has divided its a shopkeeper has divided its shop into two parts, with one selling grocery items and other in the that he has been given by to the some tailor master for stitching the ladies clothes
Sir,
also.
kindly
So
conclude, sir.
yes, sir. Face to face Face-to-face communication with the consumer was also one of the important factor, due to which the grocery stores owners were able to maintain, which a grocery stores lacks. So now, implications and the significance of the results. COVID-19 has changed So now COVID-19 has changed the whole scenario. Online stores, online site sales were not able to deliver the household during the lockdown period. On the other hand, the local stores were able to operate. Not only this, number of local canal stores have now started talking about have started using the WhatsApp, via phone calls, all and delivering the order to the nearby residence areas. So the big online players have to rethink on their strategies now. The post COVID-19 period, they were slightly in favor of the online players, now seems to be moving in the favor of the offline players too. So a segment of the customer has developed because of the COVID-19, who is now taking precautions in purchasing, because it is resulting in the rise of the online players also, who are treating items through at the higher cost. Now I come to the conclusion slides. So in the conclusion, the grocery stores owners survived the first onslaught, which was made in case of the organized retail store. Now they are failing to means fight the competition when there is a online entry of the online players too much. So it is a well understood fact that there is an urgent need of the some eatable pulses or any related item. The consumer will not open their internet on or mobile or online. They'll immediately go to the shop nearby for buying the needed products. This COVID-19 period has gone in favor of the local grocery store owners, as during the time of the crisis, they were open, they were delivering the products to the consumer, but the local stores could not, means the online stores could not, as they were not allowed to deliver at that time. But the fact is that we Indian consumer forget the miseries of our past quickly, and time to time, as when this pandemic of COVID-19 is over, we may go back to our present choices again. So that's all from my side.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jitendra sir.
Yes, sir.
And sir, any query from panel member side? Because we are giving 2 minutes for question answer round.
Okay. I would like to ask one question to Mr. Jitendra.
Yes, ma'am.
What has motivated you to select this topic?
Ma'am, actually, I was finding that as the organized retail stores and the online or grocery stores were having a competition in the initial era. But right now, the scenario is getting changed, as the lots of organized stores are making their business shut down. Lots of big players are losing their market share, and the lots of big stores are getting closed. So it means that the offline stores, or we can talk about, if we talk about the kirana stores, were finding very easy in the fighting with them. But now I wanted to make a study that if there is a change in the scenario, now they have to fight with the online players in the same way as they were fighting earlier with the organized retail stores, as they were fighting with the competition from the big bazaar, easy day. So we can see that the easy day stores have been already shut down. So there are n numbers of the stores which were open at the, if we talk about in the last 10 years, but now they are shrinking their sizes or number of stores also.
Okay,
So
I got your point, Jiten. Like with this submission, I would like to add one thing,
yes,
that you have just shared one objective to your study
yes,
or
ma'am.
with your to your paper. You can add more objectives with your study, that is going to give good impact.
Sure.
Okay,
Okay.
ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
I will not ask the question. If I may be allowed just for some inputs.
Sure, sir.
Because the purpose of this forum is to deliberate and discuss, and to make your research more quality oriented, and your paper gets published into reputed journals. So I will not ask the question, but I will give you some of the suggestions to the presenters and the co-authors of the paper. So please look at into a little more deeper aspect of it. As far as artifacts are there, or you are covering almost everything. There's a title, there's an objective, there's a hypothesis, there's analysis, there's a conclusion, everything. But please try to go much deeper in the sense when you say grocery store versus online stores in emerging digital economy, how you define digital economy, how it gets connected to your subject of research, as who survives, how you define the survival. And secondly, when you look at the paper and write the paper and keep on refining the paper, look at the theoretical support, which theoretical support you are taking. For example, you're talking about customers, you are talking about sales, you're talking about behavior, sales behavior, or you're talking about purchase, customer behavior, or anything. So, but then you base your entire study on certain theoretical support, as well as when you write the hypothesis, be careful, choose the hypothesis which you are keeping at par with the objective, and it has to be after the objective. And secondly, the kind of hypothesis you have taken, it has to have some theoretical underpinning, some background, some basis. For example, you are saying the online store will not affect the, which is not having much of a basis. Of course, online sales will affect the grocery store, because either the people will go to the kirana store or they will go to the online stores. So it will affect, surely it will affect. So have some basis for having an hypothesis which is at par with objective. Otherwise, there is another set of objectives which comes during your analysis. So analysis level objectives are separate than the hypothesis which is at par with the objectives. And kindly do the mapping when you do the analysis, etc. So do the mapping part with your objective, with your title, and do the refinement and look at your findings. And that is to be also matched with the objectives and analysis. That is my contribution and suggestion to you, and probably to all other audiences who are listening to me. Thank you.
Exactly.
Very true, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Can I add few points here?
Sure, sir. Sure. Why not?
Actually, I think both the platforms are differently positioned. Because let me tell you one example. When I was trying to purchase for the dates, that was not easily available in the physical shop or kirana shop nearby, and it was available on the JioMart. But if I'm going to purchase vegetables, I'm going to purchase the regular like pulses, rice, and all. I'm not going to buy from the JioMart, because that I can see at my nearby kirana shop, and I can buy it easily, and there is no much difference in pricing also. If I am going to purchase the vegetables, generally the nearby vegetable shop, they are having fresher vegetables than these platforms, online platforms. that I physically verified it. And about the trust factor, let me tell you that still we hesitate on the online platform. Like if I am booking a restaurant, restaurant, not restaurant, the hotels. Generally, I find that whatever it is shown in the website, that when I am going there, that is not actually that is available. So there is a lack of trust factor also.
Yes.
That is why we want to verify from other people that is it the same hotel and is it having the good condition. So in my opinion, they are differently positioned. That is what my view. So trust factor is also going to play a major role in that. And still, we are having some hesitation in the online platform.
Yes.
This is my adding. Thank you so
So
much.
true.
Thank you, panel members. I hope that your suggestions will be nicely carried on to the authors, and they will take it into account before going for the publication part.
Very true.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, authors. Now the next presentation is for artificial intelligence, a boon or bane for human potential and labor-intensive economy, an exploratory study on pandemic-ridden India. So the paper was, author of the paper is Dr. Smita Chakraborty, Dr. Soma Bose, and Aruna Mukherjee. So I have given the permission for sharing the screen. So are they present? Dr. Soma Bose.
Yeah, we are present.
Okay.
Smita is actually going to present for us.
Okay.
Yes, sir, we are present, and I'll be presenting the presentation for the day.
Okay, ma'am. So you can continue with the presentation.
Yes, sir.
And I hope that Aruna Mukherjee is not present right now, because I cannot see him on the screen. Now you might need.
Sir, can you all see my screen?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Smita Chakraborty, and I am an assistant professor at Haldia Institute of Health Sciences, Haldia. I am a research scholar under Dr. Soma Bose Viswas and Dr. Arunabha Narayan Mukherjee. So today I'll be presenting on the topic Artificial Intelligence, a boon or a bane for human potential and labor-intensive economy. It is an exploratory study on pandemic-ridden India. I have used certain keywords like artificial intelligence, which is the main keyword for my topic, human resource management, talent sourcing, employee engagement, COVID-19, strategies, learning, and adoption. The variables of the study, basically, I have taken based on the review of literature regarding recruitment, selection, performance appraisal, training. These are some of the variables which I have used, like as you can see, Wall and Wood in 2005, Natterson and Valerie, Pickup, Resch and Bryan. The research gap which was fulfilled by this, the research gap that exists. Basically, in artificial intelligence, there is not much literature available. There is still a dearth of literature and continuous research is still going on. There are few literature reviews and research perspectives, and this paper, it aims to understand how West Bengal or how India, West Bengal as a state of India, they are accepting this concept of artificial intelligence. And this might add a literary value to the existing literature. My objectives of the study is to study the extent of use of artificial intelligence in modern organization, to comprehend the changing nature of future jobs in the context of artificial intelligence, study the impact of artificial intelligence on the economy of the country with reference to the present job market, and especially in the pandemic-ridden situation. This is a qualitative study. I have not used any statistical analysis for this. HR professionals were interviewed telephonically because during this COVID situation, it was not possible for us to visit all the industries and speak to them personally face to face. So the HR professionals were mainly from industries like oil industry, from the media industry, health industry, tourism industry, from retail sectors. From all these sectors, I had selected 14 people, out of which 7 people responded as a telephonic interview. So my research questions were as follows. Like first was the application of artificial intelligence in organization, the role of artificial intelligence in the human resource management context, the scenario of the job nature and role acceptance, how Indian companies are accepting the concept, the viability for a labor intensive economy like India, and the impact of artificial intelligence in the Indian economy and job market. So I'll be discussing in brief about what exact analysis or results I have got from these questions. Like when I asked about the application of artificial intelligence in organization, I got to know that many organizations are still using the traditional applications, but that has become a challenge. So organizations which have updated themselves and are using the AI concept are much ahead. Like in regards of recruitment, selection, the things have become really easy because artificial intelligence is helping in work automation. It is speeding up the work, and managers or other officials who they are able to concentrate on much important areas rather than focusing on these little things. Human resource management, as we all know, it builds the pillar of any organization. So artificial intelligence, what it does, as I repeat once more, it helps in the work automation. Artificial intelligence, it acts as a human mind. Okay, so the artificial intelligence, a very important concept, and all sectors like they have like agreed the use of AI is very important. Like in our day-to-day lives, we all use artificial intelligence in our mobile phones, in our cars, and everything. Like for a very big example today is, of course, our smartphones. Also like Uber, Ola, OYO. These are some of the important industries or important companies which are using artificial intelligence. Now coming to the job nature and the acceptance of artificial intelligence by Indian companies. Like many years ago, when computers came up into scene, people really scared that they might lose their jobs, but ultimately it has helped. So similarly, the concept of artificial intelligence is also helping people. It is not only helping people, it is also making things smoother and efficient. So, and the job nature, many type of jobs are coming up. People are getting jobs, they are not losing jobs. And one more important concern, like regarding the fourth question, the viability of artificial intelligence for a labor intensive economy, like for a economy like India, where we have a lot of blue collared people, always it is not possible for them to make themselves upgrade to such technology. And that is the reason they fear. So it is the responsibility of the company or the industries where these people are working from the higher level to the lower level. They must provide proper training so that they can upgrade themselves. And the impact of artificial intelligence in the Indian economy and job market. My people whom I have interviewed, everyone said that as we are hearing that many people are losing jobs in this COVID-19 situation, in this pandemic ridden situation, that is not a solution, that in this recession or pandemic, things like this can again happen in the near future. So it is advisable. This has been, I have got this view from those people only. That is advisable that it is not necessary to terminate people. It is always better to bring up a lot of training sessions, or they can bring up new like job things so that people can learn new technical skills and they can adapt themselves in this scenario of artificial intelligence in this present situation. Detailed research methodology. This is a qualitative approach for the better understanding of the research questions. As I said, that the respondents in this research are general managers. They are HRs from different companies. A narrative approach was adopted to have a better understanding of the research questions. And we have used secondary data from journals, literatures available in the websites to understand the application of AI globally, and primary data from these surveys. I had approached 14 senior professionals from various sectors, out of which 7 people had given their consent to take the interview. And these professionals are basically from the oil and gas sector, from the manufacturing sector, healthcare, construction, media, power and energy, retail. They were all interviewed to understand. It was a telephonic interview. a semi-structured
1 minute
interview.
for conclusion.
The respondents were interviewed over phone and the narrations were then transcribed. So here I conclude that, as I said, that in artificial intelligence is still at a very embryonic stage. And with the adoption of artificial intelligence, on one side, people are really dreaming of efficiency, higher productivity, and they're also getting it. But again, on the other hand, people are also fearing, like mainly the semi-skilled workers, they are fearing that they might lose job. So it is always advisable, if all the industries are adopting this technology, it will help them in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Smita Chakraborty, madam, and
you,
Dr. Soma Bose, madam. So any query from the panel members side? Or any suggestions if it is required?
Yes. Being a paucity of time, let me quickly jump into it, and then maybe my colleagues, my co-panelists may also add to it. Dr. Smita, just a suggestion that.
Sir, I'm a research scholar. I'm actually not doctor. I think there is some mistake.
Okay.
I'm Miss
Don't
Smita
worry.
Chakraborty, and this is my first survey.
Okay.
Don't worry. Soon you will become the doctor. We wish
Thank
that
you, sir.
you
Thank
get
you,
it
sir.
at the earliest.
Thank you.
So what I'm suggesting is that I don't know why the title is not reflecting the entire content which you are doing, and that you have a doubt on Bain rather than you are focusing on what you have done inside the paper. Secondly, the one more fundamental thing which I would like all the other members who are presenting and they can listen. When you do the research like this, you reach to the research questions because you read literature, you look at the phenomena, you look at the other things. So you get into some questions which is a kind of a research question, and then those questions may not have a quick answers available to you. So what we do in this kind of a social sciences research, those questions are translated or converted into objectives because answers are not available. So we
Actually,
set an
these
object.
answers, like I only explained what I got from the interviewees.
Let me finish what I am saying. So those questions, and then those questions are converted into research objectives, and then the objectives are to be fulfilled through a methodology, which you are finding it's very interesting that less people are following the qualitative research. You have done it well, but what I could not find are that you have not decided any qualitative method to analyze that one. So when you present that questions, then are they research questions? Are they questions which you followed in the data collection as a interview questions? So in the presentation, it should very clearly spell out that what was your research question which led to the research objectives. Of course, I can understand it's a very shorter presentation here. When you do a longer one in your research paper, please take care of this one, that research question gets translated into objectives. Don't keep so many objectives. We will not be able to do the justice in that one paper. And keep a few and do the justice with them in terms of methodology plus analysis, be it qualitative. And there is a whole lot of word is a qualitative research, and softwares are also there and techniques are also there. So you apply this analysis technique so that you tell us the findings which is coming out of the analysis. It is interesting to do it. So please align that way so that it can go to a good journal for a publication.
Thank you,
you
sir.
have done a good job, but keep on polishing it and giving a better shape.
Sure, sir. Thank you for your recommendations. Thank you so much.
In extension to Professor Naseem, even I have got the confusion regarding the title, and he has covered up the query from my side. The other thing I would like to add, Smita, do you have generated some hypothesis also? Do you have some hypothesis also?
Yeah,
Smita, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you. My guide is present with us, Dr. Shoma Bose Biswas. I think she will be telling you the answer.
Yeah. Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, please thank you for giving us this opportunity and this new normal scenario, presenting in this way. It's really amazing. And one thing, actually, this is our first endeavor. We are just trying to understand that what is happening and how it is happening. And this particularly implementation of AI in human resource management, as Smita told, that it is in a very nascent stage. And also we have gone through the interviews, and when we gone through the interviews, we found that people generally is not using that much of AI in human resource management, particularly in the West Bengal, and probably in those companies are also having India, I mean, all over India presence. So we have found that these people, they are only using for a bit of AI in training and development and recruitment. So these particular research, we are actually this is the first stepping stone to frame the next research hypothesis, and this is a kind of pilot survey for us. Basically, we are just trying to understand how it is happening, and based on that, we will be actually preparing our next research endeavor, so that we will be clarifying the further more research questions, which will be more crisp and hypothesis and all, and then we will be moving. Just this is an interview and narrative type of research we have done. We have actually gone through the anecdotes, and we have asked them. They have told us some stories, and we have.
Okay, Dr. Soma, I got your point. What I just want to inculcate along with that is go for more interviews.
Yes, correct.
Develop a model so that it's going to give an impact to your paper.
Exactly, that's
okay. So that's my suggestion from my side. And over to Dr. Abhay.
Thank you, madam.
I would also like to add few points.
Exactly, Vijay sir. Yeah, please.
Actually, recently I taken one session in Guru Dakshata. That is the UGC, as per the UGC guidelines, the university has to do it. So in that, I took the session on the global trends in higher education. And in that, I covered this point, the artificial intelligence. As we know that the education sector, basically the trend of the education sector is set by the industry. And industry nowadays, the artificial intelligence is using. You may not be having the information, but I know that one HR company, the world-renowned company, I don't remember the name of the HR company, that they were using the artificial intelligence for the recruitment of the employees. How they were doing? They were identifying the attributes of the performer.
Yes.
Okay. Based on the attributes of the performer, they were using this one, so that whenever they were going to select the employees, that time they were seeing those attributes. So based on the artificial intelligence they were using, and it was challenged also. There were some unethical aspect of that was being raised against that company. So let me tell you that artificial intelligence has come nowadays, because in the global era we are living, globalization, and like Amazon and all different companies, they are using the artificial intelligence. Okay, and the benefit of artificial intelligence is that, one example I will take it here, that if I am going to give a session in Ethiopia, I do not know the language of Oromia. Okay, Ethiopia, generally the Oromia language is being used. So I do not know Oromia. But with the help of artificial intelligence, in the same manner how I speak, with my same signature, that can be that I can deliver the speech there also. Okay. So there are so many advantages of this artificial intelligence, and in all the fields nowadays it is being used. So it is not justice to say that it is in the nascent stage or it is not being used. Let me tell you that all the companies which are at the top level, they are using it. And nowadays it is compulsion. Let me tell you, it is compulsion that if you are not knowing this artificial intelligence, if you are not knowing the machine learning, even for the MBA students, if they are not basically skilled, they are not going to get the job. Let me tell you.
Yes,
So
that's true.
So that is why I'm just telling you that we need to improve our skill. Otherwise, we will be nowhere. Thank you so much. This much only I would like to say.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Words are very right, and whatever you have said, that is so true. that in this pandemic we are seeing that the artificial importance of artificial intelligence has improved and that got,
Yes.
got increased, right? In Indian, if we talk about our Indian structure then.
Dr.
Okay.
Abhay, we have passed around 52 minutes and we have just
Exactly.
made 2 presentations. Kindly keep the time
Sure,
and
sure.
present as so
Sure,
that
sure,
we can-
sure. Yes, sir. Now the next presenter is Mr. Tanu Agarwal and Dr. Priya Solomon. And the topic for the presentation is COVID-19 impact on different sectors of the economy. So are they here? And I would like to request...
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. So I'd like to request Smita Chakraborty to kindly switch off your screen sharing part. Yeah, Tanu Agarwal, you can continue with your presentation. And as per the Naseem sir has suggested, kindly be crisp and to the point, and 3 and 4 points which are most important in the presentation. Kindly stick.
Good afternoon, all faculty members and judges. My topic of research is COVID-19 impact on different sectors of the economy. The authors are Mr. Tanu Agarwal and my guide, Dr. Priya Solomon, CFA. The outbreak of coronavirus has been adversely impacting the different sectors of the economy in India. The various sectors of the economy has been taken like textiles, auto and auto components, and aviation and tourism, consumer business and retail, education and skilling, and telecom sector on which the impact of COVID-19 has been seen. Now, this is the research gaps on the basis of which we have made the research paper to show the to see the global economic slowdown because of coronavirus, to study the impact of coronavirus on Indian economy on different sectors of the economy. The objective of the paper of this study is this paper provides an insight to analyze the coronavirus impact on textile sector, auto and auto components, aviation and tourism, consumer business and retail, education and skilling, and telecom sector. Now, this is a methodology. The way the data has been taken from the various reports, Fitch ratings like KPMG, newspapers, and various published sources to know the impact of COVID-19 on different sectors of the economy. Now, the coronavirus impact on the textile sector and apparel sector. The prices of the raw materials remain stable, but the demand of textile sector has been impacted adversely. The textile sector is one of the largest sector which is giving the employment to around 45 million workers and contractual laborers as well. But the nationwide lockdown lead to the closure of the factories and temporary layoff of low-wage workers. There is low profitability in the sector because of the decline in imports and exports in the country. There is very high fall in the global demand and the ban on the export of some critical material to other countries, which has been used to make the mask, which adversely affects the export of these items in the country. Now, the coronavirus impact on auto and auto components. There is price variation in the raw materials for producing these components. The automotive sector have already been the low demand and shut down because of which the nationwide lockdown will see the further decline due to the outbreak of coronavirus. China provides 25% of the imports to India automotive parts because of this coronavirus. It affects the supply of raw material and other critical components. The contractual labor which has been used for the operations and support functions, which will greater issue because they have migrated to their hometowns. The consumer have postponed their decision to purchase the vehicle because of the outbreak of coronavirus in India. The global slowdown in the economy and key markets production shutdown will impact the economy. Now, this is the third point, the coronavirus impact on the aviation and tourism sector. The demand for the fuel has been declined as the international travel has been closed due to the impact of coronavirus. The Indian Association of Tour Operations have shown the estimates that aviation, hotel, and the travel sector will incur together the loss of INR 84 billion due to the restrictions imposed on foreign tourists. There is impact of COVID-19 on both the white and blue collar jobs as the salary has been cut off by these industries of the employees. The outbound travel from for India will become low in the year 2020 as the international flights are not allowed. Coronavirus impact on consumer, business, retail, and internet. Raw materials availability will become the major problem due to the disrupted supply chains. The fall in the imports will adversely affect the selected categories in the retail and durable business. The production of non-essential goods will become the major challenge as the demand has been severely affected. The cash rotation for all the categories excluding the food and grocery retail would be less impacted. The labor force related to the service sector will be impacted as they are migrating. Now, this is the coronavirus impact on education and skilling sector. The skill providing institutes are training for more than 10 million trainees yearly, and lockdown has decreased the availability of skilled manpower by 10 to 15%, which likely to increase unemployment in the country. The student and technical institutes had opted for the online system, which includes the simulation method platform only, and edtech players had been adopted for teaching. The examination has been put on hold, but the various certificate awarding bodies like DGT, SSC would prefer to fast track their computer testing of the candidates to maintain the continuous learning environment. Due to the low margins, the private training partners will become insolvent and unable to service their loans, which lead to working capital issues in the near term. Now, the coronavirus impact on the telecom sector. There is adverse impact on supply chains, suspension of the manufacturing facilities from the handset and network equipment manufacturing perspective will adversely affect the impact the telecom sector. The telecom service providers are expected to provide the uninterrupted services. Coronavirus have impacted the much awaited 5G options as the operators are busy in focusing services on the current demand and service quality. The demand is expected to be low of the handset and the new subscription will likely to slow down.
Dear, kindly conclude.
So the conclusion is that despite the challenges situation on COVID-19, there will be a growth pattern in this sector as the government is taking more and more steps to put the economy on the track again, which leads to a development of the economy in India. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Over to you.
So, Tanu Agarwalji, you are requested to kindly come up with your video so that we can have a good interaction with you. Yeah, any query from the judges side, panel members, or any suggestion?
Professor Pandey, you please give some advice.
Just a minute, sir. I am trying to put my video.
No issues. Yes.
There is some problem, I think so.
See, actually, the one thing, let me tell you that whenever we are going to do research, we should not do the research where already the knowledge is available with the citizen of the world.
Exactly.
So we need to first find out. See, we should do the literature, and our literature review should be very, very strong. And based on that only our research problem, the topic basically it is known, the research problem should be created. So just for the sake of doing research, we should not do the research. So when I was doing my PhD, I took around 2 years to finalize my topic. So research topic is very, very important. That is what I would like to say about this. So the topic is not basically, let me tell you that this is not very, it is very common topic. And we already know by the news. So nothing new in the research. That is what my feeling it is.
Mr. Tanu, you have compiled a good piece of information, but then when you make it a good research paper, look at some basics of how to put into a research paper. So please follow that one. And secondly, my suggestion would be, instead of covering the all sectors or so many sectors, if you can focus on any one of the sectors and go much deeper and come out with some kind of a methodology, data analysis and findings, and that will be a better idea. And secondly, because you're talking about COVID-19 and it is going on, so it has passed through different phases.
Yes.
And so the timeline is also very important when you say this much has impact. So are you saying this thing from some other source, or you are taking it your own? And which time you have said pandemic is still there around? So it requires a bit of more closer and more deeper insights coming out of your paper, rather than just a generic compilation of information which is available, as Professor Pandey has already pointed out. So that will not giving a good quality research paper being accepted by some journals or even for proceedings purposes. So please improve on those lines. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so any suggestions from this co-session chair side, Aruna madam?
Yes, Dr. Rabi, maximum of the part has already been communicated by Professor Naseem and Professor Vijay. So I don't want to add on with that.
Okay, okay,
Thank
okay.
you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. I hope then all the suggestions will be incorporated by the author, and in future they will enhance the research papers nicely. Okay, so now the next paper is a qualitative study on the intergenerational difference in entrepreneurial mindset. So this paper was, the author of this paper is Ms. Shalini Sharma and Shikha Bharadwaj. And this paper has been forwarded to, actually this paper will not be presented in this session because this paper has been forwarded to Best Paper Session Award. So the next paper after this is the New Age Students Are Universal, a study of value hierarchy and value priority of postgraduate. And the author of this paper is Pratha Jhala. So I request Pratha Jhala to start their screen sharing and start the presentation.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Sorry, good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
Is my screen visible?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, okay. So my topic for the presentation is New Age Generations Are Universal, a study of value hierarchy and value priority of postgraduate management students. So basically, I have tried to include, I've tried to do the research on Squad's value theory. And Squads has given 10 values, right? Those values are written here on the screen. So on the basis of, see, I'm keeping it a little short as we are running out of a time. So is it okay with you? I will not explain all these values and all.
Please.
Yeah, sure. So Squads has given this 10 values, right? And so in this paper, what we have tried to do is that we have two objectives. That is, first is to identify value hierarchy of the postgraduate management students. And the second is to identify the dominant values, right? So research methodology, the researcher has tried to collect the data from 253 postgraduate management students through a valid questionnaire. It's to identify the value hierarchy, a descriptive statistics was used, and then the values were put into the, you can say, as per the hierarchy, and whether the demographical variables are, that is gender, annual income, and place of upbringing, is there having any effect on their value system. A Kruskal-Wallis test was conducted. For the results, this is the value hierarchy which we have come up from the descriptive statistics, and then we have arranged it as per. So in the chart, you can see that UL, that is a universal value, right? So it is a dominant in the postgraduate management students. So when we talk about a universal values, it is appreciation, understanding, and tolerance, and it's a welfare for all the people. And the second value, which is also dominant here, you can see that is a hedonism, which means that pleasure and their gratification for the self. It means like that. And the least preferred values, that is a traditions, right, which means that a commitment and acceptance of the customs and ideas. And the other one is achievement, right? So these two values are low when you talk about this value hierarchy. This is a second thing, that value difference in between male and female. So from the study, we found that from the Kruskal-Wallis test, we found that there's a no, state that gender has no effect on value. The same is for the upbringing, that is village, town, and city, right? Upbringing, whether they were, brought up. So it has again no effect on value. And when you talk about family income, right? So self-direction, hedonism, and universalism. So these three values, they have effect on annual income they are affected by the annual family income. So when you talk about implications of this study, right? So as I already have mentioned here, is that universalism is a tolerance and concern for the welfare of all the people and the nature. So basically, why this study, right? So to frame the HR policy, and when you hire these people, these management people, and when you are framing the HR policies for this new entrants, so what things you can keep in mind as an organization? So two things you can keep in mind. That first is these people are open, right, to all the policies. So you can have a diverse workforce, but along with the diverse workforce, you should be focused on this thing that there has to be equality and justice. Along with that, this people hedonism value is again dominant, which again means that they value pleasure and enjoyment. So if the work culture is such, and work culture is a fun, like more of informal one, then there's a new generation people, they can be more they would like the work more. So this is it from my side. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Pratha ma'am. I'd like to request you to come up with your video so that the judges members can give you some suggestions and all. Okay, so any query and suggestions from the panel member side?
Aruna ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Some suggestions to Pratha, Dr. Pratha?
Yes, sir. I'm still Pratha Jala. I'm about to complete my PhD, sir.
All the best. You will soon get it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, Aruna ma'am, am I audible to you?
Yeah. Very much audible to me. Like if I'm going to talk about her research, she is doing a wonderful job. But my one question is that to all the people who've been associated with the academia, why they always select the respondents as students only? Why they won't go out of that?
Should I be honest, ma'am, with you?
Yes, please.
Because it's easy to collect data from the management student. And the one more thing is that because we are teaching them, we already know these people. And when I am doing my PhD, it is also on the management student as well, right? So because we know them well. So that is also one.
What I think so, being an academician, I think it is too much easy approachable for us. That is why we select these as a respondents.
True,
right?
True, ma'am.
So my submission for your work, I just want to say you can continue your research.
Your voice is breaking, Aruna ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, so there might be some technical glitch from her side. So next judges, anyone who would like to give some suggestions and any query? Yeah, Aruna ma'am, am I audible? Okay, so any judges? Yes, Naseem sir, please continue.
Yeah, Dr. Pratha, so you'll be soon you're doing good job, but then my concern was when you say a student data collected, but then you were talking about HR and connect of students data and a student analysis, focus it on that one. So what you have done, what you have collected, what you have analyzed, keep the focus on that one. So the research paper should not get a different mixed messages that at time you collect the data from the student, but you connect with HR and something. Your approach is good. You have a theoretical support, you have data, but the only thing is when you take next time, then try to customize because if you take any standard questionnaire, but it just becomes a copy and paste and doing mechanical work. Yes. So do customization in the sense that Indian values. So you added something, you tried to find something new, you invented some newness is bringing up there. And secondly, you justify your findings with some latest references, because I found that implication section, your PPTs are having references of 2010 or so.
Yes,
sir. So you are talking about 2020 and you are talking about new generation.
Yes, sir.
So your polishing is required, though yes, things sir. Are absolutely in line. So do that one and send it to the good journal for publication.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Professor Vijay wants to say something.
Yes, definitely. I would like to extend your point basically that if you are doing a research and we have to identify who are all our customers or yes, who are also be respondents. So here, if you are taking the data from the students and we are saying it is about the HR policies, So it is very difficult
So
to
can
connect.
I just add
Sure, sure.
one thing? Because
Sure, sure.
these are the postgraduate management students of a second year. They are about to join the organization. That's why I have kept that reference.
But they have not experienced the organization.
No, sir.
But they have not experienced the organization.
No,
So
sir.
without experiencing, if we say about they may be aware about the HR policies. So it is very difficult to connect. Here you may be able to answer, but when you are sending the research paper to the journals, they will not accept this.
Yes, sir. You're right. You're
It's the
right.
main point. So that
Yes.
is why I'm saying when you are saying when you are sending the research paper to the journal, that time you should prepare for this answer.
Sure, sir.
I think you will not be able to justify it.
Yes, you are right, sir.
Okay, so
Thank you.
thank you, sir. Thank you, panel members. Yes,
Sir,
sir.
sorry to interrupt you. Can I present my another paper if the panel allows?
Actually, the reason is that your paper has been the second paper. Your second paper has been scheduled at the last part because we have already given the sequencing to other authors also, so they know their sequencing proper.
If panel allow, I can just present, sir, because
So if
sorry,
panel, okay, so if panel allow, then she also need to present the second paper. So it's totally depends upon the panel members. Because the sequencing has already been circulated to all the authors.
I think you should decide.
Pratha, you have paid one presentation, you wait and listen the others also.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir, I'll do that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, so our next presenter is Supriya Lama and Gurinder Singh. So the topic title for the paper is Factors Contributing and Promoting Open Innovation in Indian Female-Owned Food Processing SMEs, Prioritizing Through the AHP Technique. So is Supriya Lama is present? Supriya, I made you the co-host of the session. So you can, yes, you can start sharing the screen and start your presentation.
Very good evening, everyone. And it's lovely to be a part of this wonderful conference that the Prestige Institute of Business has organized. And thank you so much for accepting our paper. And I'm just going to be sharing my screen.
Sure, please.
So a very good afternoon to all the panelists, those who are here with us. And a special thanks to Dr. Abhay Singh Chauhan for doing all the coordination. I'm sure you have put in your heart and soul into this particular conference. And it's a pleasure of mine to be a part of it. And yes, I would like to extend my thanks, my gratitude to the institution for accepting my paper. As a PhD scholar, I am associated with the Group Vice Chancellor of Amity University, Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh Sir. My paper is on the title Factors Contributing and Promoting Open Innovation in Indian Female-Owned Food Processing SMEs. And I have done the prioritization of the same, that is ranking of the same, through the AHP technique. So talking about my paper, as you all can see that, I have focused on the area of open innovation. And I have studied open innovation. I have focused on the factors, the variables that help the Indian females, the Indian women, especially, those who are, running their own businesses in the food processing industry. And there are certain, variables which help them in going for open innovation. And there are few variables. Sir, if you can just excuse me for a minute, I have, a small kid at, with me. Can I just, mute myself for a minute and just come back? If you all, permit me to. I'm so sorry for that. Can I just mute myself for a minute, sir?
Naseem sir, I would like to request Naseem sir to.
Please do that, Mark.
Thank you, sir. So sorry, sir. So sorry.
No issues. We can wait for 1 minute.
I think, Dr. Abhi, we can continue.
Yeah, that's what we are discussing. Okay.
She's there.
Yeah, she's
So
there.
I'm so sorry for that. Actually, because of this COVID times, things have really changed. And under the new normal, it's really difficult, to manage when you are all alone at home, with a kid. My daughter is not even 5, and I hope all of you can understand. I'm so sorry for making you wait. So I'm just going to be sharing my screen again. Okay, my screen is already there. I'm not able to change my slides. So, sir, as you all can see, I was telling you about, the keywords that I have chosen, and the areas, I have covered in my research paper includes open innovation. I have focused on my own country, which is India. And yes, I have particularly studied the female-owned food processing SMEs. And the tool that I have used for analyzing the data is AHP. The tool that I have used for collecting the data is a questionnaire. And I will be taking you forward. So these are the important variables that I have covered in my paper. They basically talk about, what are the difficulties when it comes to, the Indian female-owned food processing SMEs, and especially when it comes to adopting open innovation. So I have studied culture, inspiration, strategy of open innovation, opportunity, acknowledgement, finance, technology, expertise development, and at the same time, the policies which are there, which have been introduced by the government of our country when it comes to, supporting the SMEs in making sure that they are abreast with the new things that they have introduced in terms of innovation, and at the same time utilizing them so that they can improve their performance when it comes to adopting innovation and at the same time going for open innovation. So, sir, these are some of the elaborations of my variables, which I would like to cut short because of the paucity of time. And I'm going to be straight away taking you to my research gaps that I have fulfilled through this particular study. So, as you all can see, sir, that I have used AHP approach, and the AHP system was utilized majorly to examine, the variables that I have taken up towards the acceptance or the adoption of open innovation. All the things were considered, and the respondents organized. They gave their preferences towards advancement of technology, opportunity acknowledgement, money, and inspiration as the principal criteria that helps the Indian female business owners, especially in the food processing industry, to go for open innovation. And at the same time, certain things, certain elements like COVID-19, which we all are facing, gender gap, and at the same time, raising funds from the inner and outer sources were observed as the hindrances, the obstacles, the barriers, which are faced by the female-owned SMEs, especially in the food processing industry, especially when they feel like going for open innovation, that is utilizing not just the inner resources but also the outer resources which are available to them. Other than this, the result of the examination no doubt will be giving the policymakers of our country, that is the Ministry of the Food Processing of India, no doubt the thoughts which are going to be very significant, which will be helping them in understanding the factors which are going to be connecting the development of our females, especially those who are running their own businesses in the SMEs industry and in the food processing sector, and they will be able to move towards more the SDGs, that is Sustainable Development Goals. I have categorically mentioned and talked about the 2 goals. One of them is the industry innovation infrastructure, that is goal number 9 SDG, and goal number 5 that talks about gender equality. The objectives of my study were majorly 2 only. I wanted to talk about the facilitators, which helps the Indian females, those who are doing their businesses in the food processing industries in the SME sector. And secondly, I wanted to organize these variables which are impacting the acceptance of open innovation in the Indian setup, which included culture, innovation, aptitude improvement, development system, inspiration, government approaches, that is government policies, funds, and the other factors. So the same was studied under the Indian female-owned foods processing SMEs. The RM, that is research methodology that I adopted, was exploratory. I
last
tabbed.
30 seconds are left, please.
I'm so sorry, sir. So 15 Indian female owners were chosen, and questionnaire was used to collect the data. Because of COVID-19, the pandemic, because of the challenging times of not, getting to meet people in person, the same was shared through mails and through LinkedIn accounts, LinkedIn messages. This was the tool that was used for collecting data, and for analysis of the data, AHP was utilized. So these were some of the results that I got after utilizing AHP, the factors affecting open innovation food processing SMEs in Delhi NCR owned by the females in our country. And this is the criteria in up and running Indian food processing SMEs in Delhi NCR. By up and running, I simply means that they have an age of existence of more than 5 years. I have not taken up the SMEs which are recently been introduced, or they have recently been opened up by the females in the recent times. I have taken only those SMEs which are into existence from last 5 years. And this is the pairwise, comparison of all the sub criteria which were established after collecting the data, and the ranks that the experts assigned. This is the same. The implication and the significance of the result says that, an overall ranking of the sub criteria in the up and running food processing SMEs was done. Family and internal finance was given a lot of priority by all the experts. And it was followed by the innovative culture, awareness of trends, leadership skills. Social media also was given a lot of importance, especially because these days, we are living in the era of technology, where everything is being done, from, ordering of, your raw material to, even hiring people on, in your SME. Everything is done through technology, and that is why it has been considered. And at the same time, to identify and prioritize these obstacles, these barriers in developing, innovative businesses, questionnaire was made keeping in mind the above variables, and scales was used to collect data from the Indian food processing SMEs which were owned by the women, the females in the Delhi NCR. They were selected based on the ages of their businesses, that is more than 5 years. The prioritized innovation strategy, opportunity acknowledgement, finance, motivation, they were the main criteria promoting open innovation in SMEs owned by the women in Delhi NCR as shared by them. And moreover, financial markets, are far from perfect because of the COVID-19. You also must have seen that there is a lot of, changes every day. Every day the market crashes, or it, reaches its highest point. So keeping that in mind, finance was also given a lot of importance, and therefore SMEs mainly find the capital that they need through the savings and the income of their owners, that is their entrepreneurs themselves or their family networks. The findings show that Indian food processing SMEs, which are owned by the women in Delhi NCR, they majorly focus, on the product innovation and the organizational innovation. So these are the two main areas on which they focus on. And in India, female entrepreneurs mostly, prefer, banks among all the other, institutions which are there to provide them with the money aspect, the financial support. And this is definitely a gap between the financing provided by the banks and the financing which is actually acquired by the female entrepreneurs. Indian female entrepreneurs mentioned the firm size, high interest rates, and at the same time the lack of awareness of the funding scheme as their main obstacle in getting the finance for their businesses.
Sorry madam, sorry to interrupt you, if you could kindly conclude quickly.
So sir, I am on the concluding slide only. I'm so sorry, Abhisa. I'm taking too much of your time. So the conclusion says that the progress model can be used in future academia by the future academic and entrepreneurial studies, and this will definitely solve complicated decision making problems when it comes to the entrepreneurial sector. And we will be able to move towards more sustainable development goals, goal number 9 and goal number 5 that I spoke to you about. And no doubt this will be helping our country also, keeping in mind that our country is a developing country. In the practical terms, the study includes interpretations and discussions that will definitely help Indian government policymakers and the other associated people in formulating and developing policies that will no doubt empower the Indian female entrepreneurs. And at the same time, this will initiate open innovation, which is till now is not there. And honestly, if you ask me, there is dirt when it comes to the literature which is available on the Indian SMEs and the open innovation adopted by them. In the year 2019, no doubt India has improved, when it comes to our, ranking in the Global Innovation Index. From 81 in 2015, we have moved up to 52 in the recent year, that is 2019. And government has actually revised this year only in June 2020 the definition of SMEs. The turnover and the capital investment from lakhs has been changed to crores, and no doubt the findings of this study will encourage various government bodies to take first-hand steps towards incorporating national policies which will be supporting these women-owned food processing SMEs in establishing support centers and the innovation councils, and by promoting entrepreneurial restructuring and the enterprise development. So this information allows entrepreneurs not just to prepare in advance for understanding the challenges which are there in the open innovation adoption, and at the same time to take action to overcome these barriers, these obstacles that they might face when it comes to running their businesses. And at the same time, you also know that women in general and in Indian women will find this study very useful when it comes to planning and understanding what makes an SMEs successful. And at the same time, what are the major challenges they might face when it comes to adopting and implementing open innovation in their SMEs. So with this, I end my presentation. Thank you so much, everyone. And I'm so sorry for the inconvenience that I have caused. I'm so sorry for that.
No issues, ma'am. Thank you so much. And now I'd like to request to all the panel members, if any kind of suggestion or query that you have, you can kindly put forward.
Professor Pandey, very brief. It has already taken too much of time.
Sir, it's Supriya Lamba.
Yes, Supriya very well presented the research paper and very interesting topic also. Just I was having few points like how questionnaire you have developed, whether it was standardized or self-designed, and how the sample size was selected. Just two questions.
Sir, the questionnaire was self-designed, and at the same time, sir, the sample was convenient sampling. People whom I know in the SME industry, especially the women, owners, those whom I'm doing my PhD on the same topic. So, people whom I am already in contact with for writing my PhD thesis, I chose them only because, in COVID-19 scenarios, sir, people are really not open, to replying, especially when it comes to mailers and LinkedIn, messages. People usually don't respond. So people whom I already know and I am in touch with, especially for conducting my interviews, because I'm doing qualitative research when it comes to my PhD thesis, sir. So what I have done is I have shortlisted, I sent my messages, I sent my LinkedIn messages, my mailers only to those people only whom I am in touch with. So I've done convenience sampling, sir.
Actually, that if you are doing PhD on the same topic, let me tell you that the convenience sampling, you will not be able to justify in your PhD.
I know, work. Sir, I know. I completely agree with you, sir, on that.
Along with that, I just want to say one more thing to Supriya. Supriya, this is your PhD topic, and you're saying, saying that you had developed your question on your own. Am I right?
Right, ma'am.
So it's going to be justified.
Ma'am, I did a pilot study, like on the questionnaire that I made. I got it, verified and validated by the industry experts, and only then I have used it, ma'am.
I don't know, like what my experience says, so that if the paper, the questionnaire is not being taken as already been done the research on that is really being accepted in the thesis. Okay. So whether you have been done the pilot study also, that doesn't matter. That's going to become, because you are saying that it is self-designed, that's going to come out with that with your expectations, right? But for the PhD, I think you should consult your supervisor and then move ahead. This is just my suggestion from my end.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that. Thank you.
So Priya, the two panelists have already given you a lot of input. I'll just quickly say, but the interesting topic, your approach is okay, but then a lot of refinement is required. I'll just give you flavor of one or two example quickly so that you can understand. And I'll focus on research paper rather than your thesis, because thesis requires a lot of intervention, which your supervisor will take care of it. So in this paper which you are presenting, you have to look at, say, for example, you revisit, don't answer me right now, your objectives. In the second objective, when you are writing some comma, so many things, that's not the way you have to write the objective. You have to achieve the objectives, and then you'll get to know whatever will come inside. So if you know everything at the time of objective, what are you looking for? So that is one. And secondly, since the slide is already on the screen, look at this. In the year 19, India has gone to this level as position. So this is what your conclusion. Are you concluding this way about your research work? So these are the things which you look at, and it is happening in so many slides and so many stages when you go through. So look at the refinement in terms of, even look at the revisit your title when you send it to the research paper. So make it simple, sweet, understandable, and then connect it to what you have inside the research paper. So you have to align everything, and you have to do a lot of refinement in terms of what is your objective, how you are achieving it. Like your methodology is good, your approach is good, but you stick to that one. For example, in between you talk about SDG. So suddenly, why it is not coming right at the beginning, right from the literature review, that you have taken SDG into the consideration. So it should not be coming in between somewhere. So it has to be all aligned and to be polished with your supervisor, and then you send it to a good journal. Your process is good, but you require a lot of refinement. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Naseem. All the points are well taken. Thank you so much. And I'm definitely going to be working upon them for making my paper, better. And thank you so much. Thank you so much to all the panelists for their valuable inputs. Thank you.
Thank you, Supriya Raman. So the next paper is, yes, sir. Yes, sir, please.
Just a quick, I think 5 presentations we have done so far.
Yeah, 5 presentations we have done, but in this whole session, I think that there are less number of presenters are present today.
So in all, how many you are expecting in coming 1 hour?
So in coming 1 hour, we have 4 to 5 presentations more are left.
Okay. So you'll take care of the time.
Yeah, sure.
Request from the panelists to be a little faster in terms of variables and keywords and literature review.
Exactly.
So reduce the time there and more talk about methodology and analysis and findings.
So all the participants are requested to kindly stick to your main points, main key points, and just try to concise your presentation within the time limits that we have provided, within the 5 minutes of time. So the next presenter is Raju Varghese and Professor Leena B. Dan. So we have make you a co-host. The title for the paper is Bohra Business Community Traditional and Progressive Business Practices. And before that, there was a paper of Sarabjit Kaur and Gurucharan Singh. So as they were not present in this session, so we have moved forward to the next paper, that is Bohra Business Community and Traditional and Progressive Business Practices by Raju Varghese and Leena B. Dan. Yes, Mr. Raju Varghese, you can unmute yourself first because we are unable to hear you. Kindly unmute yourself. Yeah. Mr. Raju, yeah. You're not audible, sir. You can unmute yourself. Kindly unmute yourself first. Yes, now you are audible. Yes.
Sir, is my screen visible to you?
No, sir. Right now, it's not visible.
Now? Is it visible now?
No, we cannot see your screen.
1 second.
Yeah. By the time, I would like to request to other participants to kindly be prepared with your the presentation and be ready with your presentation, and kindly check all the technical glitches that can occur. So yes, sir, please continue.
Is it visible now, sir?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
So the title of our topic is the Bohra business community, and we are speaking on the traditional and progressive business practices. This paper has been written by me, that is Raju Varghese, and my PhD guide, that is Dr. Leena Dam. And together we represent the Global Business School and Research Center, Pune, which is a part of Dr. DPU University. The idea behind the entire presentation was to acclimatize you to something called the Bohra community, and therefore we are making it a bit visual just so that you understand. What you are seeing at the background is a typical Bohra cap. This particular cap is very distinct because it has something called golden interweavings. So that is what distinguishes this particular community from the normal Muslim community. So they are very distinctive in their caps that they wear. The dresses that they wear are called the saya and the kurta. We'll be just coming to that. Moving ahead, what are the keywords? The keywords, this is a research which involves Indian business communities, and specifically the Bohra business community. We are looking at best business practices and the entire concept of digitization. Now, when you're looking at business communities as far as India is concerned, their origin is somewhere during the Rig Veda time, when we had something called as the Chaturvarna system. So what would happen in the Chaturvarna system is there were 4 Varnas, which is the Kshatriya, which is the Brahmins at the top, followed by the Kshatriyas, followed by the Vaishyas, and then we had the Shudras. So most of the businesses, as far as India is concerned, has come in from the Vaishya community. Okay, and that is why the study of business communities becomes very, very critical, because most of the origins of Indian businesses have something or the other to do with the Vaishya community. What you can see at the background here is again a type of a sweet dish which is normally prepared by the Bohras. They have a habit of eating the sweet dish prior to the actual meal. It is called mithas in their language. Going to the next part, what do you mean by the term Bohra? Bohra stands for Varova. It is actually a derivative of that Gujarati term. It means to trade. So technically, we have a community that is meant for trade. Okay? It has its Indian origins in Gujarat. Basically originated from Egypt, Arab, Yemen ancestry. Their percentage in the Indian population at this particular point of time is 0.5%. What you are seeing at the background is again a type of dress which is normally worn by the Bohra woman. It is called Rida. There are so many different types of Rida. Again, the distinction between Bohra woman, other Muslim women, is they would normally wear a burqa which is black in color, whereas you will see a lot of multicolored versions of this particular type of a burqa. How does a Bohra community member look like? You can see it at the background. What are the variables of the study? We are looking at community specific variables and the impact on business. We are looking at familial involvement in business. And for theoretical support, what we are doing is we are looking at a particular theory suggested by Harry D. Hughes. This is somewhere in the mid 1980s, where he speaks about longevity of business studies. That is, what are the businesses which are remaining post the first, the second, third generation. And one of the reasons for this longevity, which has been found out, is the familial and the social support. Some of the prominent researchers in this particular area, we have Professor Tripathi. He's unfortunately no more, from IIM Ahmedabad, who started this entire concept of business history. We've got a lot of very good accomplished work done by Medha Kudaisia. We have Ashin Gupta and Tirthankar Roy, who have studied that part of the business history, which is from 1700s to about, from the 1500s to about 1750. You've got a very recent book by Harish Damodaran, which speaks about the capitalists, and you have community-wise study, which is evident from the Jagat Seth to the Birlas, which is epic work by Thomas Timber. Okay, what is the research gap? So Boras are a well-researched community. We have a lot of work that we can see with respect to history, we can see with respect to culture, rituals, food habits, design of their buildings, and so on. And most of this work has been done by Lokhandwala, Blank, Engineer, etc. But where is the research gap? The research gap is because the Boras have never been studied as a business community. And that is what this particular paper is basically trying to accomplish, to try and study what exactly are the business community linkages as far as the Boras are concerned. Okay, I'm just getting it back. I'm so sorry. So this is a normal pattern of a saya or a kurta, which is something which is worn by the gentleman in this particular society. Moving over and taking you to the objective and the hypothesis part. So the objectives are three-pronged. Again, it is to investigate unique business practices. Those are specific to the Bora community, to find out the extent of familial involvement in the Bora community business, and to analyze the way ahead strategies adopted by the Bora community. The reason why we emphasized on way ahead was because this particular seminar had to do a lot with digitization. And by the end of this presentation, we'll come to know how the Boras are digitally active. What are the hypotheses? There are two. There is no significant difference between the community-specific variables involving Bora business community, traditional practices, and their success in business. And there is no definite familial involvement in the way the members of the Bora community conduct their business. We'll again explain this in detail. Again, at the background is a type of a dish which is very popular in Maharashtra. It is called Shira. In the Bora community, it is a dish which is made up of rava. It's supposed to be very, very sweet, and some of the cultures as far as the Bora community members are concerned aligns to the Gujarati community as well. Just taking you to the demographics now. This is how a Bora family would normally look like. So the male to female ratio is 73 to 36. They are highly educated. So we found out that there is a large number who are postgraduates, almost 31%. We have got a lot of graduates, 45%, and PhDs. PhDs is almost about 6.7%. They have been in years that they have been in business. On an average, a Bora has been in business for more than 5 years, is almost 60% of the survey. You can also see the annual revenues that they are generating. So 20.19% of the respondents are generating a revenue which is higher than 55 lakh per annum. And almost 25 to 40 lakh per annum is generated by 28% of the respondents. We have a very well represented sample. We crossed about 15 Indian cities, and we had one international representation as well. Okay. What was the research methodology? This was a community-based study.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. This is last 30 seconds, sir.
Right, sir. I'm just finishing it. So we had a community-based study. The community, we used snowball sampling. The reason was because unless and until one community member was referring us to others, we were not actually getting responses. The tools for data collection was we used the MS Form survey on WhatsApp. And these are the data analysis techniques which we have used, which is the reliability test, correlation, covariance, factor analysis, and so on. The background, you can see a very famous mosque in Surat. Sir, I'll just take 1 minute and closer. I'll not exceed that. So the reliability statistics for almost about 30 parameters was highly good. It was excellent. And the analysis of variance also said that the p-value was greater than 0.5, and therefore our null hypotheses were accepted. What are the findings we could make out from the correlation matrix and corroborated with covariance were that the community-specific heritage and collective wisdom was being transferred from generation to generation. The Bora community has had a greater exposure to training. They emphasize a lot on higher customer connect because they are traders, calculated business risk-taking, and consensual business decision making. But what we found was surprising was the role of women was not coming out at all. In fact, it was showing both negative correlations and negative covariances. And business diversification, they would just not like to leave the trading part and come into any other form of business. What you are seeing at the background are the Siddhpur architecture, which is very famous for the Boras. Factor analysis, again, we had a factor analysis of 0.6, which was advisable. And these are the major findings. There were 10 major factors. So one of them was familial involvement. The second was a lot of religious restrictions. Role of women was restricted. community was progressive, but there were certain changes. But there's a lot of emphasis on children going in for higher education. Okay, the role of women, as I said, had come out negatively. We can see a very strong impact of religion because none of the Bora community members deal in interest in any form in the business. There is something called a Qard-e-Hasan, that is a role, that is an interest which is supposed to facilitate only the community members. The community promotes trade fairs, online portals, and this is where the digitization part came into the play. And we found that there were seminars to coach on different relevant topics, all the way from entrepreneurship and so on. And the Dawat, which is nothing but the religious administrators, ensure the use of technology in different phases of the community. So this was a very progressive community. Only one slide to go, sir. I know you're looking at the time. So this is something called a Bora Thal. This is how they normally have food. We found that it was a very strong knit business community. The role of religion is very clear, very well defined. It's predominantly a trading community. Role of women has not come out well. And finally, the conclusion slide. Again, the inter-community linkages are very strong. So we find the Bora community members working around the clock for each other. Their businesses is definitely backed by religion. So something which religion does not permit, they will not engage in business. They are progressive. They are modern. At the same time, they are traditional. They are a trading community which emphasizes a lot on education. There is a very strong social connect. And Dawat is something which focuses on religious management. What are the progressive business practices? They deal in everything which is fair and lawful, which is halal by definition. There is an emphasis on morality and ethics, and they follow Sharia, which is their canonical laws. This was a great, interesting journey for a non-Bori to actually probe into a community and try to understand what were the businesses that they were doing and what were the pluses and minuses. It has been a great and enlightening experience for me. What you can see at the background, and that is my closure, is a very famous saint in Jamnagar. And this is a saint's monument which was created somewhere around 1500. So this is a community which is very integrated into India and is a very strong part of the Indian trade and business practices. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Panel members, any comment or suggestions from your side?
Dr. Aruna,
Yes, sir.
you want to give some suggestion?
Sir, first of all, I would like to appreciate and want to congratulate the way he has presented his slides, especially the background of the slides. And the other thing I would like to ask, what has motivated him to do the research on this topic?
So, ma'am, again, a lot of motivation. One was primarily that I was studying business communities as a part of my doctoral work. I have been a businessman earlier before becoming a professor, and I failed. So I was actually...
Why you have selected this community? My question is this basically. Why this?
I was doing, so ma'am, in totality, I have done almost 8 to 10. And the reason why I selected them was because it was a very prominent business community. A very prominent trading business community. That was one of the reasons. So I've also worked on Parsis. I've also worked on Marwadis. So one logic was the minority community versus the majority community and so on.
So this is your research topic also, means PhD topic also.
This is a part of the research topic.
Okay, fine. Got your point. Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, Professor Naseem.
Professor Vijay.
Sir, Raju, sir. Raju, sir, your presentation was really very nice, and it was really very tasty, I would say.
Thank you, sir.
So many food items you have shown. So my saliva rate has been increased.
Right, sir. I just wanted to capture your attention, sir.
Okay. Only one thing I would like to suggest, Mr. Raju, that whenever we are going to do research, we should see we are basically utilizing the resources, that means time and money,
right?
And what outcome it is going to bring.
Correct.
So can you say that what implications it would be for the different stakeholders, or basically who are the stakeholders of your research?
Correct, sir. So for me, actually the research evolved from the fact that I was trying to look at impact of evolution of various business communities coming down to their present age and time. and there were only a few variables in history that were impacting them. So one of the variables, say for example, was the coming of the Britishers, then that was followed by our own independence, and till 1991 where the LPG scheme came into the play. But I found out that despite all this, the emphasis of the community has never been on migrating from trading to let's do some manufacturing or let's do some service sector things and so on. They stuck to their basic role of getting prominence as traders. So if you look at most of the hardware stores, they are normally run by Boris. So I found that transition was very higher in the Marwadi community, in the Gujarati community, even in the Sindhi community. But in this particular community, that transition was not coming out very. So they would rather be very strong and stable where they are. But at the same time, sir, if I would just take half a second, all the community members have a particular unique identity number, sir. And this is only one community which has that. The second is when we went into COVID times very recently, the community came out and helps all the other community members who were affected by that. So community linkages were very, very strong. And just because they have been into business almost from the 11th, 12th centuries till this particular time, business is almost a part of their DNA. But they will just not leave trading and come out. And again, the role of women has come out negative, although it is changing now with some progressive practices.
Raju sir, my question is that you are also a businessman before becoming the professor.
Yes.
So what knowledge it has brought to you so that your business can improve?
Sir, there is a...
from this research.
Yeah, in simple words, sir, I have learned to desentimentalize business. In the sense that business on its own is one entity, I am a separate entity. And I, even though I am owning a business, cannot have my emotions running that particular business. So that is one learning for me, especially from the Boras. If you ask me, one of the reasons why I did not survive was because I did not have very strong community links. Whereas with the Boras, the community link is so strong that even if you're failing in business, there are people who will assist you, who will support you, which I found even in the Marwadis, to some extent in the Gujaratis, not so much in the Sindhis. In my own community, which was Christian, it was not there. So, and that is one of the reasons why I kind of slipped. So I could have come out if I had better advice, better counsel, better financial planning, better foresight, and so on. So I find that when you are dealing with a Bora, you are actually speaking about 3-4 generations of distilled wisdom. And that is coming in inherited throughout. And that is what makes a difference between a traditional community and a non-traditional community. I hope that answers it.
Thank you, sir.
Professor Raju, it was very interesting presentation. It was keeping involved every time, everyone. But then if I look at from the title point of view and the rest of the things, I find as a researcher a bit of distractions coming in between, because at times things are moving towards their community profiling and other things rather than focusing on what was expected into the title and the objectives and the methodology part and the analysis part. So looking at that, as long as up to what extent they were following the traditional systems or still they're following, and you're talking about something like digitalization or new approach. So how they are transiting. So I was looking into more of a research part into rather than the dresses and habits and religious places and those things. So if you can segregate the two into two different research papers, one research paper which talks about all those kind of issues, which is more, or maybe in one research paper, one of the objective which addresses those aspects of it, which is related to their religion, habits, and other things, and the other aspect which deals with the purely on the business practices. And those two as a traditional versus modernism, or in which digitization and other new aspects which they are looking at it. So if they can be segregated into a more cohesive and more connected way, so probably that will be much more interesting and much better presentation.
Yes. Can I just answer that, sir? Just take half a...
Yeah.
Sir, the paper was, when the paper was thought of and it was evolving, the purpose was basically understanding the community, understanding inheritance, understanding the uniqueness of the community. Then there was a major challenge in fitment of the community study to the digitalization part of it. And that is where we had to actually incorporate a section in the paper where we started speaking to the second, third generation Boris. And then I realized to my utter shock that typically in the madrasas where the religious teachings are taking place, I found out that there were seminars being held on so many different aspects, all the way from, I've seen seminars on artificial intelligence. I've seen seminars on very modern aspects, and seminars also to to add to and counter the COVID times, which I found was very progressive. The second thing I have noticed, again, as a part of the study was, you are right in saying there will be a small disconnect because it was evolved as a separate thing, and then we had to actually work a bit to get it into the scope of the paper. So I found a lot of progressiveness even in education. So I found, I would have interacted with almost 10 PhDs separately from this particular community who gave a lot of insights. They were heads of departments and so on. So education was being given a lot of emphasis. And the one slide which actually ran through very fast was the emphasis of education and children. So, this is one community which focuses a lot on children education. So those were some of the progressive parts that I have seen. But yes, that lacuna is primarily because it started off as something, and then we had to actually get it into the scope of this work. So that is one of the reasons that fitment.
I think now you can put them into
Yes.
more academic piece of
Yes.
work into different categories so that it can gel with that which aspect of it you are dealing in one section versus the other sections.
Right.
So that will be in a much better way. Thank you so much for this interesting thing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Raju Varghese and Dr. Leena
Thank you.
Vigyan.
Thank you, sir. You've done a great show. It's been coordinated very well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So now the next presenter would be Ms. Divya Nair and Dr. N. Meena Rani. And the title of the paper is Online Teaching by Higher Education Institutions of Emerging Nations, Problems, Difficulties and Implications for Educational Organizations and Policy. So I have already given the permission for Divya Nair to present his paper and to share his screen, share her screen. Yes, Ms. Divya Nair, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir, I'm sharing the screen.
Sure. And I would like to request to all the presenters to kindly be crisp and short because we have some paucity of time. So we'd like to complete on the time limits that we have provided.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to present this paper. I'm Divya Nair. I'm a research scholar from Zyme, Bangalore. The topic of the paper is Online Teaching by Higher Education Institutions of Emerging Nations, Issues and Implications for Educational Organizations and Policymakers. So the keywords are online teaching, educational policy, emerging nations, pandemic. So the purpose of this study, the COVID-19 situation has really changed each and every sector. It has changed the higher education sector also. Online teaching is now the norm. So we are looking into how it has changed different aspects of teaching learning process. So these are the 6 hypotheses. Each of them have been tested using a chi-square statistic. So the first hypothesis is about quantity of interaction, then quality of interaction between student and teacher. Then there is about student absenteeism, student non-productive behavior, individual attention to students. And then there is a 6th hypothesis about technical difficulties in online teaching. So snowball sampling was used. I contacted a few faculties first and they passed on the online forms to others. So we reached out to 195 teaching faculties from more than 30 different higher education institutions in and around Mumbai. So other details of the faculties are given on the slide. Of this 88.7%, that is only 173 teaching faculty had used online teaching. So that makes 173 the sample size for few of the calculations. So survey was conducted using online form. The first section had questions pertaining to quantity and quality of interaction and student absenteeism, student non-productive behavior, and all this was done using a multiple choice questionnaire format. And all the data was collected on a nominal scale. So, and then there was a question with a checkbox format, which was which of the technical difficulties we faced during the online teaching process. So coming to the results, we found that using chi-square statistic that there was a significant difference in quantity of interaction, quality of interaction, student absenteeism, non-productive behavior, and individual attention to students. So here I couldn't, because of the time and limited number of slides, I couldn't include the means here. So it was found that quantity and quality of interaction was better in offline classrooms. Student absenteeism at the same time was actually reduced in online mode of teaching. So it was better in online mode of teaching. And student non-productive behavior also sort of reduced in online classrooms, while individual attention to students was better in offline classrooms. So all the faculties face a lot of technical difficulties. So while considering this, we should also consider that this was in Mumbai. So Mumbai is considerably technically better off. The technological infrastructure is better than rest of the India, many rural parts and all. So this was in Mumbai. Still, people face a lot of technical issues. There was unstable internet, power supply was unstable, lack of proper equipment, not used to software. So coming to the results. Yeah, coming to the results, student-teacher interactions are important to learning outcomes. This has been given by other researchers also. So this interaction was hampered during the online mode of teaching. So what has to be one suggestion from the part of previous researchers and us would be training should be given to maximize online interactions. There was a lack of training, which came out in the part that they are not used to the software also. So they need more training. Student absenteeism is also an issue in the online mode of teaching. So student attendance can be enforced mandatorily, but that would again be a problem because students don't have access to technology always, everywhere. If they are coming from a particular section of the society where they don't have access to technology, that has also to be considered by the policymakers and institutional heads. Student non-productive behavior and problem behavior is associated with low academic achievement many a times. So that also came out in the research that in online teaching, student non-productive behavior was slightly decreased. But it can be interconnected with absenteeism also. So this lays out deeper implications. Student motivation is low many a times during such hard situations. We are going through a hard time, this pandemic situation. So that has impacted student motivation. So educationalists, institutional heads, and policymakers have to take immediate corrective actions as education sector is very important for India. India is going towards a knowledge economy. So if education is hampered, overall development will hamper. And it will be a good measure to take immediate corrective actions. Heads of institutions need to make arrangements for teaching staff to get appropriate training of using online software and tools. And also, personal counseling should be made available to students to increase their motivation during this pandemic situation to still continue with their educational pursuits. Policymakers should coordinate with administrative agencies to improve the stability of power, internet, and such facilities. Also, maybe renting or purchasing of equipments, technological equipments for colleges that could be made sure by the policymakers and administrative agencies. Conclusion: the study finds lacunas and problems in the implementation of online teaching in the current situation, and this needs immediate attention because it's a issue of the future. So there needs to be immediate attention to these issues, and some remedial action has been suggested, and more remedial actions need to be devised to counter the situation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, madam. So suggestions and queries from panel member side.
Professor Vijay Pandey.
Actually,
your suggestions, sir.
I would like to say a few words here. That nowadays it is if you are not publishing your research paper in the Scopus Index journal, that is having no value nowadays. So for publishing in the Scopus Index journal, we need to improve our research methodology part. And as we know that nowadays, if you are not using confirmatory factor analysis, structural equation modeling and all, so it is very difficult to publish. So what I could find that we need to improve the research methodology part. That is what I would like to suggest.
Thank you, sir.
Professor Arma.
Yes, sir. What I would like to say for her, like this is not, you can say that's a very much new topic. It's the topic of like many of the studies have been done already. So what you can do, like you have taken higher education, right? And that to online teaching methods. So what you can do something different and new as by creating the models. Okay, specifically by creating the relationships and hypothesis that is going to add more on in your paper. What I feel this was missing in your paper, and you can study more good papers from good index journals that going to help you out to improve your especially this paper, because many of the research has been done recently. That's all for my part.
Thank you, ma'am.
Divya, you have listened, both the panelists, they have already given you advice. We can understand, we can see your intention, motivation, all that is fine. But once you enter into this one, let's say, for example, you are saying higher education. Higher education is having variety of disciplines. For example, medical sciences, for example, engineering, management, and so many things. So if you put everything into one simple way, that online, and secondly, this online, which we see due to COVID-19, the institutions were not prepared. It was forced, and online programs of higher education is entirely different story altogether. So if you are talking about research on this topic, you had to do a little more studies, because this pandemic was not only in developing country, it was all over the world. So what research have been done with specific to the COVID, and due to COVID and an online teaching and issues and other things, which you need to look at research papers which are published. And because this is almost going to be a year, so the different good journals, they have already published a good article on that one. And as suggested by Dr. Aruna, that you will get more ideas that how to shape up your entire research paper for publication. Because if your findings are compared with 2007, 2004, 1998, those kind of research papers, that is not having any value, because that time there were not COVID, there was not an online thing, which was as compared to today's environment. So please shape up all these things into more well thought of, after reading good journal research paper which is related to higher education online, and then you try to polish it in this area and make your research paper worthy of getting published into a good journal. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, panel members. We have next presenter is Mr. Arnav Dalal, and in between we have 3 presentations, but the presenters were not present. So we can move forward to the next presenter, that is Mr. Arnav Dalal and Dr. Subrata Chattopadhyay and Mr. Shashank Kulkarni. And the title for the paper is Understanding the Trends in ICT Adaptability in the Arts and Crafts Segment in India for Global Competitiveness. So I hope panel member has got this paper. It's sequence number 13, GM044. Mr. Arnav Dalal. Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Arnav, you can start with your presentation.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, it has gone blank.
Requested to kindly stick to the time limit that we have provided.
Yeah, surely, sir. And good afternoon, everybody. And it is a paper by myself and my guide, Dr. Subrata Chattopadhyay. Third name, I believe, was from some other paper. I believe so.
Okay. So we'll edit that part.
Okay. So to start off with, we are talking about understanding the trends in ICT adaptability in the arts and crafts segment in India for global competitiveness. And in this, hold on, my next slide. Okay, I am jumping this. I'm not going into the definition of handicraft because everybody knows about it in this positive time. But I would like to put us forward a few highlights of this industry. So Indian handicraft industry is the second biggest after the agriculture. But the coordination between the different elements in our business is required. And in this aspect, handicraft sector fails in a big way. There had been a number of studies that has been already done. There's some constraints which has been identified for this sector, like the lack of knowledge of customers' needs and performances, lack of the marketing efforts, and different layers of intermediaries or the middlemen. And this has been highlighted by a few samples have been given for Banik 2017 or Venkatnaya Kumar at 2011. Continuing with the highlights, ICT can play an important role in alleviating a few of the problems being faced by this sector presently. A survey reported by FICCI has suggested that the use of internet by small and medium enterprises, SMEs, can have a positive impact on revenue, profitability, and customer acquisition. So with that background, I move on to the objective of the study. And it is the object of the study is to understand the present state of information and communication technology among the artisans, with the study being conducted in West Bengal specifically. The study evaluates the availability of ICT, its present extent of usage, and proposes a way forward plan so that the handicraft sector can grow using ICT, thus helping the artisans to have better economic independence and social upliftment. Okay, okay, sorry for there's some windows which were coming in my screen and I was not being able to move to the next slide. The research methodology. The paper is based on exploratory qualitative research where artisans belonging to the district of Murshidabad in West Bengal and are involved in the production of different handicrafts and handloom materials were interviewed using a semi-structured questionnaire. And using stratified random sampling, 3 blocks of Murshidabad district were identified, mainly the Baharampur, Hariharpara, and Khargram. And this has been identified because of the concentration of the clusters and the main products that are available in the Murshidabad district. Secondary data was also collected from different journals, research papers, established government reports, articles, and the internet to understand and corroborate the research findings regarding the usage of ICT in the handicraft sector and its potential to improve the sector. So respondents, we have contacted 40 artisans, and these are the crafts they are involved in. Murshidabad silk is one of the popular thing. So silk weavers, Bale and Brass, Solar Peat, and Cane and Bamboo Works are the 4 important arts that the artisans carry out here in the Murshidabad district. So we tried to cover all the main important things, important crafts. Coming to the findings, all the respondents at least had one mobile connection in their household. Out of the 40 respondents, 18, that is around 45%, told that they had their mobile number, and the others used a common family connection. So the usage of smartphones were lower, as only 27.5%. 11 respondents only had smartphones. And why we talked of smartphone is that with the usage with the data and a smartphone, a lot of activities can be conducted for the business. So how far it is being utilized and all those stuff, for that we wanted to find out in detail the penetration of smartphones. And modes used by the artisans to communicate with the other people, and it has been found that face-to-face interactions and the use of mobile phone, mainly the voice calls, were the primary modes, almost at equal par. And for messaging and other social media, it was it was nil, and messaging, it was only 3 who had responded yes, they knew about it and they sometimes used it. Continue with the findings. The different functions for which the smartphones were used by the respondents, and here a single respondent can do multiple things, so we have clubbed it into the heads, so it might not be adding up to 40 as the respondents can do multiple activities out there. But one thing which came out was that messaging service for sharing designs and production information, 9 had responded correctly, but for the other things like and most of them use the smartphone for entertainment, 11 of them. A point needs to be noted here that the above mentioned activities may not be initiated by the artisans themselves, but may be aided by the family members, mainly the younger generations or the younger members. And it is clearly coming out that the mobile phone is not being utilized fully for business purpose by many of the respondents. This may be due to the unawareness of the respondents towards the benefit of the ICT.
Mr. Aruna, kindly conclude. We have already crossed the time.
Okay, so I will just give me 2 minutes, 1 minute for this slide and 1 minute for the conclusion. Maybe.
Yeah, kindly be short and crisp, right?
Yeah, fine. So, and finally, we have identified certain codes out there, which has been marked out here, which has been grouped under the key concepts. And mainly we found out 3 things out there: communication, information regarding infrastructure, and the knowledge of ICT. Knowledge of ICT, the frequency is quite low, which really proved that they didn't know what the benefits they could get using ICT as a thing. Infrastructure was also poor because pure road, no training, lack of technology awareness, and communication is mainly due to the mobile phones. And based on this, there was a few recommendations that we have put forward. Education and digital literacy promotion among the youth in the artisans community to ensure that they participate in the digital space. The youth coming in because we found out that the younger generation was helping the older people for their work. Identify and train youth who are likely to be savvier with computers and internet. Volunteers to aid the organization in getting online and to train the artisans using online tools. Training can be organized through which organizations can become more aware of the potential of ICT to promote the enterprises on the various digital platforms and the different tools that they can use. Exploration of low cost and user-friendly inventory materials, management softwares to be promoted in the organizations. This is the infrastructure sort of part, the transportation and product packaging, and to develop good order management and customer service practices, technology using ERP to enable them to respond effectively to the customer's requirements. And exploitation of the online marketplace to enable sellers to have web pages with their own product videos, photos, contact information, so that they are more in contact with the customers, which was one of the constraints which was identified by our literature review. And learning different design softwares from professionals using same for preparing samples as per the requirement and taste, maybe AutoCAD and all those other stuffs which can be utilized out here. There's a list of references which I've used, and that is the end of the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aruna. So yes, panel members, any query and suggestions from your side? Dr. BK sir, Dr. Aruna ma'am, or
yes, Dr. Abe, I would like to say to him, like the title which he has constructed in this, there's a term mentioned ICT, right?
Yes.
And never abbreviation we use in the titles. We always use the full forms. So
Okay,
please
ma'am.
take
I
care
will.
of that. Other way, like it's required more deep study. And I think you should go for good and reputed index journal of your topic. Go through that and construct or define your work, what is being required latest. That I just want to say. Too much work is required because this is one of the topic which is already been dealt upon too much. So please go through and just try to develop something new. What you have shared, this is very much common and in very generic. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Just I would like to say one point here that I am located at Dehradun in the Graphic Era Hill University, and we are having a lot of students from the Pahad areas, that is the mountain areas, and a lot of students used to complain that they are not able to get the proper internet so that they can come to our classes. They are facing a lot of difficulties. So whatever the ICT tools we are developing, finally, if internet is not available, that is of no value, I think. So that part also should be looked after by you, I think, in my
Okay.
opinion.
All right, sir. I will also try to put it in this paper.
Aruna, I think my co-panelists have already given you the information which is required to improve your research paper. But then for a good journal, this much is not enough. If you just survey and you put into the percentage and other things. So please look into little more detail. And secondly, when you go for such kind of a study with artisans and rural areas and looking into ICT, which is quite technical, I was surprised why people look at the questionnaire to take it to them, because they may not be that educated and insightful to fill up your question, articulate enough to do that thing.
Yeah, that was the reason that we did it personally, ma'am, sir, because we did it before the COVID times. And that was the reason we could cover only one of the districts, 40, but after that it was a lockdown.
So in future, keep in mind and bring it more insights.
Yes,
more insights from them into your, and follow the simple basic principles of the research, where you have to have some theoretical support, methodology, strong methodology, some analysis, which may be qualitative or quantitative, but it's a good analysis and data, and then findings. And finding, you'll keep it, look at that. Some journal will be looking at what is new in your research paper. As already Dr. Aruna had pointed out, they'll be looking at what is in your approach is new, your methodology is new, your insights are new. What exactly is new that they can be ready to publish your research paper in a good journal? So please improve on those areas. Thank you so much for making a very short and sweet presentation.
Thank you, sir. And thank you for the suggestions. I will keep those things in mind.
Yeah, thank you so much, Aruna, and thank you so much, panel members. And now I would like to request next presenter, and that is Mr. Dr. Kumar Mukul and Dr. V. Padmaja. And the title for the paper is Social Capital Through Virtual Network as Strategic Resources for Startup, a multiple case study in North Karnataka region.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm just sharing screen.
Yeah, please, madam, just a second, please. Panel members, this is the paper number 16 in sequence, 16, because in between there are two presenters, but they are not present. So yes, we have just moved on to the paper number 16, that is Social Capital Through Virtual Network.
Yes, I'm sharing my screens.
Yeah, please, continue.
Yeah, it will go to screen share here. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Yes, madam, please continue.
Yes. Is my screen visible, sir? I'm just enabling my camera. Is my screen visible?
Yes, madam, it's visible.
Yes. So I'll just enable my camera.
It's requested to kindly stick to the time limit, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, please.
What is this? Yes. Yeah, sure. You have to go here. Yeah. Yeah, is my MA. Okay, so good afternoon to all the panelists. I'm Dr. Padmaja. I'm an associate professor with the Ramya Institute of Management. And my co-authors are Dr. Kumar Mukul of KLE College, Hubli, and Professor Jayadatta of KLE College, Hubli. I'll begin quickly with the title. The title of our paper is Social Capital Through Virtual Networks as Strategic Resources for Startups. This is based on a multiple case study in North Karnataka region. I think this slide is not moving. Okay, yeah. I'll just go to the second slide. Yeah. Yes, sir. Is the slide visible, sir? Yes. I'll begin with the introduction.
Madam, your slide is not visible right now.
Slide is not visible.
No, earlier it was visible, but right now.
If there is problem, ma'am, I will share the slide from here.
Yeah. Yes, sir. That'll be better.
That will be fine.
Yes. Sir.
Yeah,
yes,
please allow me share. I will share the slide from here.
So we have already allowed you.
Okay, fine. I will share the slide from here.
Yes. Yeah. Is it visible now, sir? Dr.
It is not visible, ma'am. It is not visible. So leave it.
Yes. Sir. Okay.
I will just share my slide. Now you close your sharing.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
So, all right. So we begin with the introduction. In the recent years, networking has attained a completely new status with the addition of online and digital means of networking. And as per Kretschmer, Priest, and Maloney, groups of people interacting and forming networks online in form of online community are generating tremendous possibilities for entrepreneurs. Social networking through virtual means helps to connect startups with other founders and entrepreneurs quickly and easily to chat about everything from ideas, business problems, exchanging helpful contacts, to even practicing an entrepreneur's pitch. Concepts like virtual interactions, cyber networks, virtual communities are emerging, which is changing the whole landscape of social networking and social capital research. Moving on, some of the keywords that were used in this research paper include virtual networking and entrepreneurs, startups, social capital, and social networking. We had put in some thorough literature review, and I'll just quickly run through the reviews given by various researchers in this area of social capital and virtual networking. So according to Maclay and Westhead in the year 2005, they said that in today's dispersed communities, people generally meet more strangers in online communities and build totally new relationships from there. Then Maclay and Westhead continued to say, with regard to virtual networking and entrepreneurs, that the emergence of internet and development of information and communication technology has offered a conducive environment for the expansion of virtual networking through online entrepreneurship. Moving ahead, we gave again a definition of startups. A startup is an organization which is formed on rapid growth, focusing on new innovative skills. This definition was given by D. et al. Blank in the year 2012. And then we moved on to, we linked social networking and social capital. Social capital involves the intangible assets residing in social networks. Social capital is also receiving ever more attention in entrepreneurship research. Then we move on some more key concepts that were explained. Startups and their challenges. We also linked of how social networking in entrepreneurship is helping startup development. So the 4 types of resources play a major role as strategic resources for startups, which is the key theme of our topic, namely the personal contacts, knowledge, experience, physical resources, and financial resources, as per the definition given by Witt et al. In the year 2008. The basic objectives of the study include, since this is a qualitative analysis through multiple case studies that were considered in the North Karnataka region of Hubli and Dharwad, it focuses, the case studies which focus on online networking, the content and the benefits, the following objectives were framed. That is to explore and understand the importance of social networking for entrepreneurs that would facilitate business interactions, to identify and classify the various platforms of online networking which are used by the entrepreneurs, to analyze the different ways in which entrepreneurs engage in social relationships, that is social networking, in order to gain access to information that may ultimately lead to the acquisition of resources and social capital. And the last objective that we focused on was to discuss how social capital acquired through social networking can become strategic resources for startups. I'll quickly explain the research design and hand over the presentation to my colleague, Dr. Mukul. The research design used in the present study was a multiple case design. So multiple cases of qualitative nature were developed on early stage entrepreneurs to understand the role of social capital in early stage firm development. The basis for selection of the cases were the criticality of the case for the theory being tested, topical relevance, feasibility, and access. And the studies on startups were based in Hubli city of Karnataka, and the selection of the cases were theoretical purpose of meeting the research objectives. I'll move ahead.
Yeah. I will take over, ma'am.
Yes. Justification and significance, Dr. Mukul will take over. Yes.
Yeah, just one more thing. Why this study is so critical in the present era is that entrepreneurship has been normally accepted as drivers of economic growth, but there are a lot of challenges with startups who are trying to establish their enterprises in the early stages, especially, and the failure rates are very high. So research suggests that a lot of startups actually don't end up as successful enterprises. So some research says that only 1 in 10, some says that around 70% of them fail. So the research clearly mentions that they have some constraints because of which they don't go on to establish successful enterprises. Some of them do. So the major cause of that is the resource constraints. So how do they overcome these resource constraints? And does social capital have a role to play in that? That was actually the very pertinent research area actually. So if you see,
30 seconds.
If you see the context like incubation center and earlier days, the family businesses. So the context always had an important role to play in the success or failure of a startup. So we conducted case studies on these. We did case studies with these 9 startups in this region. Most of them were incubated in the KLE Technological University in Hubli. And we had detailed interviews with them, which were transcribed, and then qualitative data analysis techniques were used for them. We have come up with some propositions which can actually lead to future research, and our findings are generally actually presented in the form of propositions, which says that there are entrepreneurs feel that becoming a member of virtual communities are yielding rich dividends for them. And there are a lot of online media platforms which have different kinds of benefit for them. For example, if they use LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, how the benefits accruing through the membership of these communities are giving them different types of results. So that was interesting thing. And we propose that the different kinds of benefits happening through these social networks and the social capital through them actually help them in the growth. And other propositions are there that is specific business related things like marketing, talent acquisitions, and other things are also very critical, which happens through virtual networking. But there are some constraints, there are some entrepreneurs who pointed out some constraints. These propositions actually we have tried to illustrate through the exact verbatim quotations taken from them. These are the data evidences. So we talked to the entrepreneurs and we have tried to classify these quotations of the entrepreneurs as evidences for these propositions. In the detailed paper which we have submitted, all these quotations are actually submitted in the detailed case. So we find that overall, we find that entrepreneurs have a lot to gain through the membership of virtual communities. Earlier, face-to-face communities had limitations to the kind of resources they could offer to entrepreneurs. But now the virtual communities, community membership of virtual communities have actually increased the reach and range of these contacts. So the entrepreneurs can actually reach out to people even abroad, sitting there in a small tier 2 city of Hubli. They can communicate with people abroad and get inputs. For example, in case of some startups, they said that we are working on some technology and we can become member of forums. I think I will just so 1 minute I will take one more. I will show you. So for example, here if you see the Float Design founders say that there are various online forums which are specifically dealing with some technical issues. So if they are working on a product prototype and they need some clarifications on that, and which is not available in a tier 2 city like Hubli, so earlier they used to get stuck, but now they are having the access to people, resource person, and expertise across the globe with whom they can connect and get access. So that has opened up various avenues for these startups. So the reach and range has increased tremendously, which was not available in the earlier days. So the virtual communities actually is one of the major findings of this. The membership of virtual communities and how they are yielding rich dividends for that. And then second major finding is that the various types of online platforms have different benefits, which has been found in other research also in normal businesses also, like LinkedIn has been commonly used for HR related things or recruitment things. That is very commonly known. So in case of startups also, they shared this, that they have different usages coming from different kinds of online platforms. So that was again interesting finding which was there. And specifically for some business purposes like talent acquisition, so how they get resources. They don't have HR. Most of the startups don't have established HR business practices, so they get help through these contacts. So and marketing purposes, for example, they don't have marketing team as established, or they don't. Some people say that we don't know how to conduct market research. So for those purposes also they take help of these people, and especially many of them are taking help of online. Especially given the context of this COVID and the situation prevailing, these kinds of social capital which they are getting through the online resources makes a very, very interesting area of research actually, especially in case of startups which are facing resource constraints. So this was these were some of the findings, and there are of course some limitations which we are building upon. So we have come up with some conceptual frameworks and all, and we are trying to build up this research in future in form of other papers. So I think that is from my side. Ma'am, we would like to add something, or time is over?
No, I think sir was already, Dr. Abhay was already rushing. We just, we took a lot of pains in explaining the cases also. We wanted to express some of the quotations that were, directly taken in the form of interviews as a part of the study. Of course, all that has been mentioned in detail in the paper, but some of those quotations we tried to put in the presentation. So is there, we just like to wind up and say that the relevance and the importance of online networking and also social networking has become so important for entrepreneurs to connect globally, not just across the country, but also connect globally and exchange different kinds of ideas, which act as a strategic resource for their startups, because it has been seen that, startups take a lot of time to establish themselves before they actually start taking off and, in their flight stage. So we wanted to.
Ma'am, one thing, this last thing, the proposition, they say that though it is becoming very important, but still some people are saying that offline because of their emotional content and the personal touch, still that aspect of networking, conventional aspect of networking still remains. So there is no replacement of conventional networking with online networking, but it is kind of a supplementary which they are getting additionally.
And it's not picking up, people are enjoying the virtual connections sitting at home these days. Yeah. Thank you.
That is from us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, both the authors. Now, any kind of a query and suggestions are highly welcome from the judges side.
Close the PPT so that I can.
Sure. I will just close the PPT.
Yeah, just close the PPT so that yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, you could enable your camera, Mukul sir. You could enable your camera. Yeah. Yes, Abhay sir. Panelists.
Yeah. Panelists, please.
Sir Vijay.
Vijay sir, kindly unmute yourself. You are right now. You are muted. Yeah. Okay.
Due to network problem, I think I could not hear anything.
Exactly. Because due to some technical glitch, I think you might have got disconnected.
Yes, yes.
Oh.
Okay. No issue.
For the benefit of that, sir, I will quickly say that, sir, we tried to analyze through cases how social networking and virtual networking is helping entrepreneurs, and that social capital which is developed through the networking and the conversations, that is used as a strategic resource to help startups gain footage when they are starting their business. It's just a brief summary, sir, since you could not hear. Yes, sir.
Professor Aruna?
Yes, sir. I was just waiting for your call only. What I feel so for her, like Dr. Kumar Mukul and Dr. V. Padmaja,
yes, ma'am.
The topic what you have just shown, that is social capital through virtual networking.
Yes, ma'am.
And the presentation what you have shown, that is more related to social networking, right? And you have not mentioned and you have not differentiate between these two terms, especially the social capital and social networking, though it was reflected in your LR. Okay, but it is not reflected in your title. Okay. The other thing, when you winding up your presentation, you said everybody is enjoying the virtual connection. I agree that everybody is enjoying the virtual connection, but if you're going to think from the student part and you're going to think from the person who is sitting since morning till end on the same laptop, they are not enjoying anymore, and you ask this question to the students, that basically this networking has some flaws, and I think you can put in your study.
Sure.
Okay, that's all the suggestion from my side.
Yeah, I think Dr. Mukul had summarized by saying that though personal connections cannot be replaced, I think he just added that point at the end.
Yeah, and that
You're
was
more focused on virtual connectivity, right?
Yes. Yes,
in that perspective, I'm just adding on.
That connectivity, the reach which the entrepreneurs are getting, ma'am, that they are exploring more, because earlier they were limiting themselves. For example, if they became member of incubation center, or if they are part of university, they were limiting themselves to the experts available in that campus or that incubation. Now they are exploring that online access they have for other countries or other communities. So it is not related to COVID. Actually, the research was, it was part of my PhD also. So it is a continuation of that. But we just tried to explore in the times of COVID. And second question, first part, what you said, ma'am, social capital, that social capital is a broader concept of which actually the online part is just a part of that. That is one medium through which the social capital can be accessed actually.
No, Dr. Mukul, we are not saying that something wrong you did so. Or
No,
something
we
wrong
did
you
not,
spoke.
we did not focus on that aspect.
No, I'm just saying that you can make an effect and you can make the changes accordingly if you would like to do that.
Yes. Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Definitely.
So that is my concern.
Yeah.
And moreover, if you're going to see your LR and the topic, that reality, if you want to match, you can change something in your topic.
Sure.
Okay. And virtual connectivity, I agree. Everybody is going to enjoy, because sitting at one place, you have a connectivity. But if you're going to think it in the learning way, from the student perspective, learning is not that enjoying. That's what I just want to say you.
Yes, ma'am.
And you can add on this thing in your study.
Sure.
I hope you got what I just want to say.
Yes, ma'am. I've just noted down that point.
My submission, just quickly on what Dr. Aruna has already given, is not a question, just a suggestion that your work is good. But my personal feeling as a colleague is that you are putting too many things into one research paper. So 4 objectives and so many other things are coming into it, and reasonably 8 case study itself is a good thing in one of the qualitative research papers. So please look into it, and probably you may come out with two different papers into different aspect of it, and then rather than putting everything into one. And another thing which Dr. Aruna was pointing out, that in your research paper, when you go in detail and submitting it to the journal, look at those technical terms which you are looking at, social capital or social networking and virtual networking, etc. They are defined and well knitted in your research paper, so that at the end you come out. And secondly, if you are saying that you are using a research method, say case study as a method, and you are talking about 8 case studies, so probably you can develop smaller case studies itself on if case study number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And before you develop a case study, keep the perspective in which you are developing a case study. After a brief introduction of the organization, which perspective you are developing that case study. Then at the end of all 8 case study, have a comprehensive analysis of all 8 in that perspective, that what insights you have got from all 8 case study, which you can summarize and put into that. These are the insights coming out of it. So that will be giving you the entire shape of the research paper as a good one. Refer some good latest journals, because your latest references are coming up to 2012, not beyond that. So include all those aspects. Probably this will be much better. Your work is very good, requires a bit of polishing and putting into little smaller pieces rather than the entire one. Don't put entire PhD into one paper. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for valuable input.
One more thing I would like to add for the study, like what cases you have used, as sir has suggested. You can use these cases in the form of scenarios, and these scenarios can be taken in the form of studying, and can you develop a new paper with that? This is just my suggestion.
Sure.
Yes, ma'am. We will note down there. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, and thank you to Prestige for giving us an opportunity to present. Thank you, Abhi.
Thank you, authors. Now, the next presentation will be from Assistant Professor Rekha Khandelwal, and the title for the paper is "Study the Impact of Digitalization on Today's Society in Positive Direction." So,
Abhay, how many presentations are left after this presentation?
After this presentation, only one presentation is left, and then we'll be winding up the second.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead. We are exceeding time. Okay, no issue.
Thank you, sir. Yes, Ms. Rekha, kindly continue and kindly share your screen. Kindly unmute yourself first. I make you the co-host of the session and you can unmute yourself. I have given you the rights. Just hold on for a second. Yes, now you can do that. Please, yes, now you can do the same. Yes, Rick. Now it's audible.
Thank you, sir. Good evening to all of you. I'm Rekha Khandelwal, research scholar from Department of Law, Rajasthan University. I'm presenting a paper. The title of my paper is I Study the Impact of Digitalization on Today's Society in Positive Direction. Keywords: digitalization, society, education, economy. Objective of my paper is...
I would like to interrupt in between. You don't have any presentation?
No, sir. I'm unable to share my screen at this time. Objective is that the objective of my research is to make the society aware of the positive aspect of digitalization. Research methodology: this is a doctrinal research, and I have used secondary data for it. Tools and techniques are books and relevant literature, journals, etc. And hypothesis that whether digitalization is useful for today's society. Research question is that how digitalization is useful for today's society. Now, today there has been unprecedented growth in the field of information and communication technology around the world. The development of mobile, Android, computers, etc. has taken the whole world in its grasp. Through YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, people have got the opportunity to promote their products today. Impact of digital technology on education. If we talk about education, the impact of digital technology on education, today we are looking at how schools, colleges, universities, offices, companies are increasingly using computers, Android, mobile, etc. Digitalization of education is a powerful trend in terms of reformation and modernization of the global education environment. Digitalization means transformation of all information type, text, sounds, visual, video and other data from various sources into the digital language. And we are seeing that we are exchanging our knowledge each other at the mode of digitalization. If we talk about its impact on economy, so the digital technologies provide extraordinary expansion to business, which could not be made possible using the conventional means of marketing and sales. A company manufacturing its product in one part of the world can advertise products through their websites and mobile applications and or by using online platforms. With the advancement of digital technologies and increase in the hemisphere of its influence, the concept of digital economy evolved. During this process, researchers suggest using e-commerce, business process, data science, information technology, infrastructure, and price behavior as indicators of digital economy. The Internet of Things allows companies to obtain real-time data, distribute employees in the right area, and make timely business decisions. Big data and sophisticated data analysis tools can provide business decision makers with accurate and sophisticated business information for the implementation of effective departments and organizational strategies. If we talk about its impact on life, so according to experts, many aspects of work, leisure, and family life have improved in digital life. Digital technology has a huge impact on society. Digitalization affects monetary policy, employment, and competition in every sector. Digitalization is not a new phenomenon. Over the years, this concept has covered general technological development. Especially in the field of information technology, some similar services and products in the past, such as travel arrangements, music, films, translations, etc. Then people have better food for more comfortable life and better clothes. Our friends and family may be away from us, but one click is all it feels close to us. Consumers are shopping online while sitting at home. Everything from food items to clothes, jewelry, decorated items, etc. are happening fast through online websites. Our favorite restaurants and grocery stores are always available to serve our favorite food. Digitalization is attracting a lot of new generations. Through digitalization, the new generation got a platform to showcase their new startup. The inner talent of the people has also emerged. It is also proving to be more effective in organization, business, and company growth. If we talk about the impact of digitalization on society in Corona period. So today, while there are adverse conditions at the time of Corona, due to digitalization, children's education, office work, corporate work, etc. are not stopping. Virtual classrooms and a wider online content make it easy to read. All the organizations are doing their work through this at home. They have also provided employment to unemployed people. The inner talent of many people has come to the fore. The field of research has also increased. Through seminar, conference, webinars, people have exchanged knowledge of each other from various countries on even one platform. And we are seeing also at this time, the country has gained a lot of knowledge from abroad, which promotes its own business, such as in the field of art and craft. Through YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, people have got the opportunity to promote their products today. One cannot imagine living without digitalization, even for a moment in time. It seems difficult to survive. Suppose imagination of the adverse period of Corona COVID without digitalization. So today we are struggling with adversity during the Corona COVID.
Madam, kindly continue, please.
If for a moment we imagine that the digitalization of the society would have taken place, social media, mobile phone, Android, computer, etc. would not have been used, then during these adverse situations where all the work is being done at home, everyone would have stopped. There would have been a huge loss of children in all fields like children's education, fun, learning, exams, creative activities, etc. Likewise, in industries, business, companies, etc., where online business is going on, it would have stopped. If people had gone out, the whole world would have been hit by Corona by now. And if the world had been sitting quietly in the house, the world would have reached the old centuries. But through digitalization, In the opposite circumstances like Corona COVID, they have got a very good solution today. Without it, one cannot imagine living for a single moment. Conclusion, after analyzing all our data, it is concluded that digitalization is acting as a catalyst in organization growth, and thus digitalization is having a very positive impact on innovation and growth. It is proving as a vehicle for innovation, organizational growth, and effectiveness in the opposite circumstances like Corona COVID. They have got a very good solution today. Digitalization is a need for everyone. It will essentially need to survive in future. But in this way, digitalization is having a positive effect on the lives of people. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rekha madam. And now I would like to request all the panel members to have any query or suggestion from your side.
Thank you, Rekha. But then kindly keep your thoughts into a structured way and put into in a form of research approach. So your ideas are nice that the digitization is affecting everyone in every walk of life. But then kindly keep your thoughts into in a more structured format and more in a research format. Thank you
sir.
so much.
Thank you.
So I think Abhay, the last presentation is there.
Yeah, it's only the last presentation, and that is from Pratha Jhala, who has been presented earlier also.
Yeah, Pratha is waiting, and so nice of it that she is going to make the last presentation also.
Exactly.
Yes.
So the title for the paper is Job-Related Expectations of Generation Z, a study of postgraduate management students. So this is the topic, and Pratha, kindly continue.
Yes. Okay. So, good evening, everyone. So the topic of the presentation and in my paper, that is the job-related expectations of Generation Z, a study of a postgraduate management student. This is my PhD research topic as well, and this is as a part of a pilot project which I have conducted on a few students. So keywords are job-related expectations, Generation Z, and generational study. As we all have heard about the generations, that we belong to this generation or that generation people are those people who share the same birth years, values, attitudes, or behavior. It is research that they have the same things, right? So these are the bifurcations of a various generations. So currently the students, I would say the people who belong to this generation Z, which is from 1995 to 2010. In this study, first I'll go to this research methodology. So for the research methodology for the questionnaire, through the review of literature, 30 statements related to the job-related expectations were formed. And from that, the data was collected from postgraduate second-year management students who had went for the summer experience. So data was collected before COVID-19 pandemic. The students who had the summer internship training, so from them the data was collected. It was collected from 140 students, and then factor analysis was conducted to factorize the expectations. For the questionnaire, all these factors were included into this study. So if you can see, this factors are related to job profile related factors are there, job task, job variety related, work-life balance related factors are there, salary related, organization culture, feedbacks related factors are there, right? So, and work environment related factors are were included into the study. Results of the study discussion, I haven't put the table of factor analysis here, but in the factor analysis result, right, the KMO Bartlett's best result, which was the value was 0.807, so it is adequate to conduct a factor analysis. The sample size is adequate, it shows, right, and p-value is 0.000, which is lesser than 0.0001. Right, so it's an cumulative variance explained was 62.7%, and the 9 factors were extracted, where eigenvalue was more than 1 in a screen plot. So these are the 9 factors which were extracted from the factor analysis. So the first factor, we can name it as an autonomy and opportunity of a person. So basically, what are these factors? These are the factors which Generation Z students want from the employer, what they are expecting from their future job. Right. So it's the first is autonomy and opportunity for personal growth. So they want personal growth, career growth, and a free and work environment. They want a continuous feedback. So if you study the previous generations, if you start from the traditionalists, right, they never wanted a continuous feedback or something like that. But this generation, they need a continuous feedback. And the next is informal organization culture. This is again a changing phenomena from the generations. If you see in a literature review, the previous generations, if we talk about generation traditionalists or generation X, they wanted a formal organization structure, while these people want informal organization structure. They are ready for a work mobility. They don't mind move from one place to other place for the work job purpose. They have a lower level of commitment, right? Because as you can see that okay, sorry. Yes. The next is a personal space. So they want a personal space. So questions related to the physical work environment were asked, and then they said that they need some personal space. Then it's a casual work environment, opportunity to work with the startups. Yes, they are ready to work with the startup. And the last thing is their expectations related to the job locations. They are ready to work with the startup, even if the startups are in small cities or small towns. So,
okay, madam, kindly conclude, please.
yes. So the implications of the study are that knowing who these people are, right? So when you when you recruit, retain, and when you want to recruit, retain, and maintain right people at your job, or when you want to design the jobs accordingly, organizational job, if you design according to the expectations of your future employees, right? Then you can increase the job satisfaction, retention, performance commitment, as well as the motivation in your employees. So thank you. So this is okay, I guess.
Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Pratha Jhala, ma'am. Yes, any comments and suggestions from panel member side? Because as this is our last presentation which has been done.
Okay, Pratha, you are at which stage of PhD?
I am in Gujarat, ma'am. I am in Gujarat.
No, you are at which stage of PhD?
PhD, I started collecting the data, ma'am.
You just started collecting the
yes,
data.
I have framed the questionnaire. I have done focus group study, and then from a literature review, I have designed the questionnaire, and then I have started collecting the data.
Look, what I just find it, I'll just be frank with you that you've been overloaded with the factors. Okay.
What one? Sorry.
What I find from your slides that you've been overloaded with the factors.
Overloaded. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, I even found this with this many what you can say number of samples. 9 factors are too many factors. This also I have found.
I don't know. You just be in touch with your supervisor and
okay,
you just discuss with him or her. Okay. And I think you should be go with less factors. Otherwise, what will happen is going to impact in your result analysis.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Other thing, what I just want to say that whenever you going to go for the presentations, try to make your analysis or the results in a more tabular form.
Okay, ma'am.
Not in the statements form.
Sure, ma'am.
Sure. So that's going to give you good impact when you're going to present.
You're right, ma'am. You're right.
Okay. So that's all from my end.
Thank you, ma'am.
Professor Vijay.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Pratha, very good presentation, and your topic is also very interesting and relevant. But let me tell you that nowadays with the technology like artificial intelligence, machine learning, the business organization is now going to hire those people who are already performing in the organization.
Yes.
That means they are identifying the attributes of the performance, and based on that, they are going to select the people from outside.
Yes.
That is the other way around.
Yes, sir.
My point.
Yes,
so
sir.
you are suggesting that these are the people, and these are these are the factors, and for that the organization should manage. But here the organization is not going to manage.
Yes.
Organization is going to hire those people who are suiting to the organization.
Yes.
So you
So,
are
sir,
understanding
sorry, but you know, when I am into human resource management, so the new theories of human resource management, they say that you know, if you want to retain your employees, you should also think from that perspective. So, from that perspective, I have
But
thought of.
nowadays the trends are changing.
Yes, sir.
So that is why, because there are so many recruiters I have interacted with the people. They are saying that if we are not going to compromise with the quality.
Yes, sir.
Because if I need 100 people, 100 employees, then 1 lakh people are applying for that. So why at all we should compromise?
Yes, sir.
So that is why I'm saying that the implications of the study, you're doing PhD. So that is why I'm just giving you one thought. Just
Yes,
think
you're
about
right,
that
sir.
point also.
Your perspective is right, sir.
That is what I'm going to suggest.
Yes, you are.
That's all from my side.
Okay, sir.
So, Pratha, what my co-panelists are suggesting that the way you had to present this research paper,
Yes, sir.
of course, there are both ways to be looked at it for a more effective hiring and result in the organization. But then what he's suggesting that what you have done in your research paper, be cautious while putting into analysis and implication and findings, where
Yes.
you say that this is the expectation of the students who are ready for the job market and so on and so forth. Let
Yes,
it be takers take it in that perspective, whichever perspective they want to take it. But another point which Dr. Aruna has already given you a piece of advice, that when you talk about factors, before doing the factor analysis, there is a whole lot of preparation before you do the factor analysis. And what is factor and what is sub-factor and what is the item and what are those things? You please look into that one before getting into, and do little bit of literature review to
sir.
prepare yourself in consultation with your supervisor before you go for factor analysis. Because when you go to factor analysis, then the story starts from EFA, CFA, and SCM, and a whole lot of things will be there. But before that, what you have done as a research PhD research scholar, that people will be more interested that up to the stage which you reach to factor analysis, what you have done, they will carefully examine that aspect. So please do that careful examination before come to that one. What you call it as factor, somebody may say it is not actually the factor which you're reporting. This one factor includes so many aspects which is together, combining the factor which fact. So that aspect you have to take care of it. Thank you, and sorry for your waiting you for so long, so that at least some people will be interested in here in the session available. But thank you to all the organizers. Thank you to Dr. Abhay also, because he has done very nicely 3 hours, little over 3 hours, and consistently we maintained more than 20 participants in the session. We have gone up to 25 or 24. I don't know whether my co-panelist wants to say anything at the moment, because we have already exceeded. But then from my side, thank you to all who have participated and learned, because this is the forum in which we academicians interact with each other and gain from each other experience and knowledge. At the same time, don't stop this entire process at this stage. Keep continuing research, and keep be associated, be linked with each other, and learn from each other. Over to Dr. Abhay.
Thank you so much, sir, for your nice thoughts. Yes, sir. So now we came to the end of the session, and in fact, we have seen and we have gained a lot from this brainstorming session, including me. And I hope that all the participants who have been in this session, they might have also gained something from this, and definitely they'll incorporate all the suggestions that has been laid down by Naseem Abidi sir, Vijay Kumar sir, and Aruna madam. So now, yes, one more thing that I would like to add with this in this session, that our main sponsor of this whole event, that is for International Conference 2020 of Prestige Institute of Management, is SBI, State Bank of India. Okay, so now coming to our end part, and I would like to ask and request Professor Shefali Chauhan madam to kindly take over the charge for this ending part of it.
Dr. Ravi, I just want to say something.
Yeah, ma'am. No, actually, we will be calling you.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Just please give me a minute, and we have some formalities to do, and then we'll ask each and every panel member to have some few words with us.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request our keynote speaker, Dr. V.K. Pandey ji, for a brief feedback about the technical session and to enlighten us with his concluding remark in the context of this technical session. Please, sir.
Thank you, Shefali. And it was really a wonderful session, and we discussed a lot from artificial intelligence to the entrepreneurs and the COVID-19 issues. And really, it was a good platform, and also interacted with Professor Abdi and Professor Aruna. So it was really a nice session. I would not say much about this, but it was a really interesting session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Now I request our co-session chair, Dr. Aruna Dhamija ji, for her brief concluding remark. Please, ma'am.
Yes. Good evening to one and all. At the end, I would like to thank the organizers for providing this valuable opportunity to me to be co-chair this session of this conference and invited me in the capacity of the prestigious conference on this theme, that is your digitalization as a vehicle for innovation, organizational growth, and effectiveness. Coming to the theme of the conference, I do feel that there could not have been a more suitable time to organize a conference on a theme like the present one. And I congratulate the organizers, Dr. Bhakar and his team, Dr. Abhay, Dr. Garima, for this Herculean task of making this as a reality. I'm sure that the conference would live up to the expectation of all the stakeholders, and all of us would become intellectually richer once it is over. Last but not the least, Professor Asim and Professor Pandey, it is a wonderful experience and able to receive insights from both of you. I really enjoyed the session. I extend a humble invitation to Professor Asim and Professor Pandey that in the future, whenever they visit Mathura, kindly acquaint us. It will be an honor for us and visit to our university. Thank you, one and all.
Sure, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Last but not the least, I request our session chair, Professor Naseem Abidi, for his feedback about the technical session and enlighten us with his concluding remark. Please, sir.
Thank you, Shefali. I think we are already 45 minutes shooted out with the target. And thank you so much for my co-panelists and you people like organizing such a nice event. I have joined from Sharjah. Right now it is going to be 4:15 here. So I think it may be late at other places. In India, it will be much, 1.5 hours much ahead. So, but then it is a nice one to interact and connect with this technology, which has come in a way of COVID, not in a nice note, but then this has come and it is available now. We can connect at any point of time from any part of the world.
Exactly.
So thank you so much, Professor Aruna, Professor Vijay Pandey, for your help and insights which you have provided to the participants and other people who are listening this one. And thank you to the organizers. Thanks, convey my regards and thanks to Dr. Bhakar. We worked together long back when we started our academic journey in Prestige Indore, way back in 25 years back. So since then I know Dr. Bhakar. So convey my regards and thanks to him. And thank you to his team, entire team. There are many people who are behind the screen and we acknowledge their support because those technical work and other conference related issues, they keep on helping, and it is the support of them because of which we are here and we have concluded this wonderful session. And I'm sure people will keep on learning. This is a very short time to look at 10-15 minutes into their research paper. but then of course, people must have got some idea, some connect, something to revisit. So my suggestion to all the participants who have presented their paper, revisit your paper, focus on that what is new which you are bringing in your research paper, so that it may happen right from the title to the objective to the methodology, because the people who will be looking at the journal level, they will be, the title is the one catchy thing which quickly comes into the mind, and they look at the abstract, and there if you they find something interesting, only then it goes to the next level. So please try to have those aspects into it. There's something new in your research paper. Don't make it as a mechanical paper. Just copy, paste, take a question, do some percentage, do some mechanical thing, put 10, 20 hypotheses. No. People are fed up with this one. So please try to look into more involved research paper and more insightful research paper. And each step you follow more in depth and be connected with your title and methodology and objectives. So thank you so much to all of you, and especially Dr. Shefali, Dr. Abhay, for your continuous support. Thanks from Sharjah. Family is also waiting because today is an off day for me. Friday, Saturday is an off. Tomorrow is a working day. So thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. As we all know, thankfulness is beginning of gratitude, and gratitude is a completion of thankfulness. So I request Dr. Abhay Singh Chauhan for a vote of thanks. Please, sir.
Thank you, madam. So on the behalf of entire fraternity of PIMG and on my own behalf, convey deep regards and hearty thanks to Session Chair, Dr. Naseem Abidi sir, Co-Session Chair, Dr. Aruna Dhamija madam, and keynote speaker, Professor and Dr. Vijay Kumar Pandey sir. For gracing the technical session. We are greatly encouraged by your gracious presence and will be immensely benefited by your inspiring addresses. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, madam. I convey my thanks to all the participants who came and presented the paper, presented their research work on this virtual platform. My deep regards and thanks to all the faculty members who have joined this session and from the online and the offline mode. Then I also convey my thanks to my team of technical session for continuous support. My special thanks to the students, volunteers for their immense support and dedications, teamwork and continuous efforts and cooperation. Thank you all. And we hope that in the next coming events, we will be meeting with a physical platform, because right now we have been doing it on the virtual platform as well. So we hope and we pray that yes, everything goes normal. It is an exaggeration from my side, but yes, we hope that everything goes normal and we will be meeting from the next time on a physical platform. So thank you very much to each and every delegates. And sir, your letter of gratitude and madam, your letter of gratitude will be provided to you very soon, and we'll mail your letter of gratitude through the mail ID. Right. So thank you, sir. Thank you very
so
much.
Thank you.
Thank you all the participants. Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam.